Hey, what's up, guys? We're just getting everything ready. It should only be a moment longer, and we've got Sam and Paul here. And if you guys have any questions, we can try to pay attention to the chat and ask you. Sam and Paul will do their best to answer you guys' questions as well. And if you're watching the recording of this, then you could drop your questions down below, and I'm sure Paul won't mind coming through on those questions and answering what he can. It'll just be one more second, and then we'll have the live video footage of them.
Yeah, they'll probably all leave when Paul comes back anyway. So.
That's the first thing people heard. Uh,
They're like, Paul's gone. Let's all join in.
hey, what's up, guys? Today, I was able to get Sam and Paul to come do an interview with me, and I just asked them to do this. It's not like Evergrow official. I was just curious if they wanted to meet up, answer some of my questions, answer some of your guys' questions, and let me just say one of the things I wanted to focus on or kind of just talk about was just get an idea of like because where we all started and where we're going and how you guys feel about what's changed from like the early days when the price was going insane, and maybe if possibly we can get some information out of Paul, some new information that we don't know about. That would be great.
Yeah, Paul's always ready to drop something unapproved. Cody and Rocket will be listening in, like ready to do their check boxes of things that Paul's leaked that he wasn't supposed to. Yeah, so it's.
I was on crypto controls. I was on
I
crypto.
think your mum's calling you, Paul.
Yeah, no, she's
She said she's seen you on TV.
She says,
driving my phone.
Okay.
I was on crypto controls show yesterday, and I said something like, what I thought, some not dates were, but some timelines, like, we're hoping by the end of June, but it's not, too official, but we're, hoping this. The next thing you know, like I got messages like, so those are the timelines, those are the dates, and I'm like, whoa, calm
Yeah.
down. Like, that's why we don't give dates now, or it's very hard. Anything little that comes out of your mouth, and people are taking and running, and so.
It's fair enough that we understand why
Yeah.
the community want dates. We totally get it, and we can see, we've had some whales selling. It's weird we have like whales selling large amounts, but then loads of people buying, like loads of new people coming in and buying. It's very strange that we have like whales who held on for like 18 months. But we're so close. We've had to do some tweaks, do some adaptations, etc. Obviously, but we know. I think it's strange because time probably moves very differently for us on the team because when you're super busy, time just flies by for you. Every day we're meeting, we're doing Lunar Sky meetings every day now. We're at that final stage where the final team are in there doing like what do we call that testing like
Bug back.
Paul that they're in. Yeah,
Bug.
bug bashing on Lunar Sky. Just making sure everything's ready for launch. And we're not quite at that stage really for Wallet, but we have just extended out the beta team for Wallet. So we know how close we are, but we also understand that there are people who've heard us say this before, and then obviously, I think we can quite honestly say that we disappointed with Lunar Sky V1, and we learned a lot of lessons from that. And I will always say that having Lunar Sky V1 live has actually been really beneficial for us because we've managed to see, what not to do for the final version. And also we've managed to get loads of feedback from a live utility, which is very, very rare. So people are constantly, we've had a beta feedback form on there since it went live. And, it's been working. It's sold a lot of NFTs, but it's not been something that we wanted to market because it's not good enough. It doesn't represent what we believe Evergrow has become, since we've upgraded, as I've said in tweets and on interviews or AMAs before, we have not got a single existing dev connected to Evergrow who was involved in that Lunar Sky launch. We've now moved over to, high-end international dev companies to build everything. Part of the reason we were able to do that was because we were so careful with our budgeting. Obviously, we did the Lucro raise, and the money from Lucro will long-term benefit holders of Lucro and Evergrow because, that's enabled us to spend a lot more on development. And then obviously once those products are live. So Thomas, you asked sort of about the early days of Evergrow. So obviously, the original team launched Evergrow with this roadmap, where the social media marketplace, I can't remember what it was called, to be honest. At the beginning, it wasn't called Creator, it was called something else. I had nothing to do with the launch, as I think most people know by now. I joined the project as an advisor after about a week or 10 days. And then and towards the end of last year is when I fully took over, from a legal point of view, and became the person running Evergrow. So, we had to make some tough decisions. We had 6 weeks of complete insanity with Evergrow kind of, at the very tail end of the craziest bull market crypto's ever seen. Evergrow was in that market for 6 weeks, and we've been in, a severe bear market followed by a sideways market ever since. With that, we've had to transition away from the original founders, the original dev teams, into and all credit to
Unite fans.
Unite fans.
Well, yeah. So that Unite fans, and you can see it was just trying to be only fans, and it wasn't the right thing to do. And then we had to make that tough decision to sideline Creator. Part of it was based on knowing at that time that Elon Musk was going to take over Twitter, and we had to see what moves he was going to make. Can you imagine the mess we'd be in right now if we were trying to build, even with a team of 10 devs, and a couple of $1 million. Elon Musk has a team of the best devs in the world and billions of dollars to spend. And we would have been trying to keep up with all this innovation. So again, I think with Creator, it's exactly the right place for us to be. Let's sit back, let's see how the markets develop. And social media's become political now as well. So I think, there will be an opportunity in the future to pitch Creator in the right place. But we are not a big enough project to sustain a social media website, which requires hundreds of millions, if not, let's say tens of millions to hundreds of millions of users in order to just survive, because that's the reality of social media. This isn't like a wallet where, you can have 10,000 users and make a good profit every month for our project and use that profit for rewards and buyback and burn. We can do that with a wallet. We can do that with Lunar Sky. We couldn't do that with a social media website. You either, it's all in, or you disappear and you fail and you lose tens of millions of dollars whilst trying. So I think, we've explained this before. Everyone keeps saying when Creator. I only invested in Evergrow for Creator, etc., etc. Well, Creator should never have been on the roadmap in the first place. I'd say that honestly. It's far too big a project for a startup company. These companies like Facebook and Twitter, they raise tens of millions of dollars over the years to get to where they are. And for every Facebook, there are 100 to 200 social media companies that raised tens of millions of dollars and failed. Now, would everyone really want one of us to gone all in on the hardest possible utility to be successful in and risk every bit? Like right now, sure, our market cap's low. Our liquidity is really healthy. It's crazy healthy. It's 20% if you count the BNB and the Evergrow side. But we're sat on millions of dollars. Evergrow is in a great position. The market cap doesn't reflect that. We know that's distressing for people. But if we were bankrupt right now, then we'd have a real problem. Yeah, maybe we'd have a half-built Creator, but we'd have no money, and that would be the end of the project. So where we're at right now, relative to the industry, we've got this, I can say this without giving investment advice, in my opinion, we have a ridiculously low market cap when you look across crypto, because we're one of the most trusted, most established teams now out there in DeFi. We are probably the best funded team that I know of outside, these mega projects with millions of holders. And we have one of the strongest liquidity pool ratios. We have utilities that are so nearly built that I don't get it. I don't get why a whale would sell right now unless they literally can't afford their mortgage payments. But I also don't care. Like, let them sell now while the price is low. Let them dump 10, 15 grand while the price is low. It might upset investors in the short term, but it's actually going to be far, far better for all of us. If you see how our cap table has changed over the last few months, completely transformed into a really healthy table now of holders. So it's a bit stressful. I understand. For me, I'm long in the tooth. I've seen stocks go up and down and then rally and moon and do the stuff like for tens of years now. So I don't get stressed about the price. As I do point out to people, the marketing, the team wallet that I effectively control and legally, technically own, I guess, was worth $150 million at our high. You don't see me getting upset and fudding and losing sleep over it. I really couldn't care less. I believe in the project and the direction. So as much as I completely sympathize with the people being stressed about the short-term price, and also as much as I completely agree and understand that last year was not a good year for Evergrow, and we tried things that didn't work out. We worked with dev teams that, we went through hell. One day, maybe I'll write a book about what we went through in that 12 months and all the problems and issues. People wouldn't believe what we went through last year. But, I'm feeling, and I know everybody else in the core team, we call it the management team these days, and all the staff who are getting to test Atlas Wallet and stuff. We're feeling great and optimistic. But the only thing that we know is that there are a lot of people in the community who aren't feeling like that. But I think it's just because obviously we can't give you guys direct access to what we're building until, right now we are bringing more beta testers in. But we kind of know what's going on, and we can see it and feel it, and we can we can touch it. We can use Atlas Wallet, we can use Lunar Sky, and we know they're great. But we know there are people out there who even are so skeptical now that they don't even believe those things exist. So we do get it. Please don't think that we're unsympathetic to holders.
And we understand, and take full accountability for 2022 and the dates given, the missed dates, over promising, under delivering, whether it's dev's faults, whether it's something in the universe, it all falls back on management and Sam, which in turn us as management. So.
Yeah, it's a very good point, Paul, because we've always always shielded the people who have let us down. I've never come out publicly and said, this is the company that promised us that this would be done on this date. We've always shielded. So the responsibility falls on me ultimately. And that's what you do. I've been in this position before. I'm okay with it. So we've shielded the dev companies that have missed the deadlines that were contracted and promised and things like that. I will continue to do that because I believe that's what leadership is. I believe it's taking ultimate responsibility, not going around saying, well, we're late because this company, and then naming a company that we've employed. Like, we could do that. It'd probably take a lot of pressure off our shoulders. But, it's a good point, Paul, that, we do take responsibility for absolutely everything. We stand by it. Ultimately, we're the ones who hire these dev teams or these individuals,
I think you guys did, but I also I personally believe that you guys did everything in your power to do things right. I don't think it's as if you were being lazy or something. I think it was just an unfortunate circumstance where most projects in this space have dev teams that are promising them deadlines and not being able to meet them or not being able to deliver good products.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I don't think I know of maybe one or two project that's managed to get something out there. And in fact, no, I really don't think I know of any project in DeFi, as in, not worth $1 billion with an office, in Santa Monica or whatever it might be, and some of the best devs in the world earning $1 million a year each. I don't know of any company related to our space who have, not had the same problems as us. I think one of the issues obviously is that our market cap just went so sky high so quickly that it put that extra pressure on us that we've just had to shoulder all this time.
I call it a gift and a curse. It's a gift that we were able to have that record of going from launch 6 weeks later to $1.5 billion market cap, which we held the record up till about a month ago when Pepe beat us and got to a $1.5 billion market cap in 3 weeks after launch. even though they didn't have any tax and we had a 14% in and out tax. They beat us, and we held that record for a long time. Even though we're in the,
I'd be interested to see if their holders start asking them where their utilities are, because I don't think they're going to have any ever. And I think the difference with Evergrow is we're not going to stop until we're successful. We put our faces out there. We put our personal reputations. I walked away from a very successful company to be with Evergrow on this journey. And it's like we're still here. I could have just switched off and deleted my Twitter and walked away, which we've seen like project leader after project leader do in this space. I think people know by now that's not going to happen. We insisted from day one. I said anybody who wants to be on the management team of Evergrow and take that responsibility for the community has to be fully doxed, and you'll see that across the board. There's not a single person who working for Evergrow at management level who isn't willing to put their reputation on the line that we're going to make this successful. So I think that speaks a lot.
It's me, it's such a tough thing because it's like, I feel like when the price goes down, people feel like they've missed out on a project. So, but I also feel like because the price is down so much that if we had delivered the utilities with the price being up a lot, it seems like you'd potentially be able to get more traction with the price being down. And that was actually something that I was curious about was, do you think that it would be, because I feel like what makes projects explode is FOMO. Like people buy into projects that have no utility at all, and it just catches fire. Everybody thinks they're early and they buy in. So I feel like Evergrow might, and you could correct me on this, but might have to try to do that again, where it gets a bunch of people to believe that it's going to do that. And do you think that can happen before utilities release, or do you think that the utilities need to be producing that consistent profit in order for people to FOMO in? And is that the main selling point of Evergrow?
I think it's a good question. I think we've almost got a backup plan in the fact that the utilities, can be built up. So obviously I can't make estimates of what will happen to the price, but I think we know, we as a team know that there are a lot of people sat on the sidelines with a lot of money, because we can't forget people made in some cases tens of millions of dollars from Evergrow. And then they took their money and they sat on it, and they're keeping an eye on Evergrow, and we know that. And beyond those, hyper whales, there were people who made millions of dollars and changed their lives. And we know that there are people waiting to say, once I see Evergrow can deliver, they're interesting to me again, but they're not prepared to put their money in until we see a product and a product that's good, and that's what Lunar Sky V1 did to us. It basically made people go, well, even when these guys launch a product, we need to make sure it's good this time before we FOMO in. So I think that could, if you talk about FOMO, let's say, and again, without giving investment advice, that could be something that creates FOMO, is that everybody waits and waits and waits for launch. And then I do believe in the quality of what we launch. But if the market were to judge those launches as positive, certainly compared to previous launches, then we could end up in a position where people are scrambling to get in quickly, and then we could see a similar thing that we saw before. But I want to be very clear that I'm not saying that will happen. I can't come on a YouTube and make estimates of price, but that is there is a potential for, because we just know so many people are waiting for a launch before they're willing to put their money back into Evergrow. And our liquidity is so strong that it really wouldn't take much for the price to start rallying. I mean, there are projects that are technically 4 to 5 times bigger than Evergrow in market cap that have, smaller liquidities, which makes no sense at all. Like it's almost like an error in the algorithm on PancakeSwap that's even allowed to happen. Evergrow should either have a higher market cap, or these other projects should have a much lower market cap. We have an incredibly healthy liquidity pool. So, so as I said, there's a backup plan there as well, in that, if ultimately the long-term plan for Evergrow, as you know, is for rewards, price and supply to be helped along at least by the revenue from utilities. Like that's, there's the second wave of potential price action behind potentially the first wave. Is all these people who said, wow, Evergrow actually can build something that they've promised, and it can be great, and they can market it really well. We've been waiting for these guys for a year. Maybe I'll have another bite of Evergrow, you know, and then after that, hopefully, maybe we'll get a rally from that. Maybe we won't. We don't know. But after that, then we really do believe that our utilities can start generating revenue, and we can then use that revenue, as we said, as a blend, as we've always discussed, to pay out rewards, or to buy tokens, and either burn them or potentially send those tokens into the staking pools, which we're talking about, which will go live fairly soon with another update there. So, and again, that could create a second wave. So yeah, this is the only reason why I'm scratching my head, and couldn't care less. I have no moral judgment on anybody choosing to sell their tokens right now. People can sell tokens at any point. No crypto should ever prevent anyone from selling. But for me, the timing seems, you know, a little bit illogical. Just my personal opinion.
Maybe the worst time to sell.
Well, at least, you know, if you want to sell, like, at least wait until we've launched something and decide whether you like it or not. But again, like, we don't know what's going on. Like, part of my fear is that people are selling and they're FOMOing into these meme coins, and maybe this meme coin thing's already passed. We don't know. I don't see much going on in the meme coin. I think Pepe, you know, seems to be maybe a black swan or whatever. There doesn't seem to be anything like rallying up behind Pepe going to $1 billion, and Pepe just seems to be drifting down. So maybe, you know, the meme. I don't say anything negative about this meme rally. I think it's been fun for everybody. I think it's giving people a taste of crypto again. I think it's actually positive for the space. But we, you know, maybe we've seen patterns of whales selling Evergrow, FOMOing into a meme coin, and then losing all that money, you know, which is sad because that money is being transferred probably to a handful of people controlling these big meme projects, which, you know, are all completely anonymous, and, you know, you don't know where that money's ending up. Basically, it's just being taken out of crypto. I think that'd be very sad, you know.
I was curious if you guys are you guys planning on trying to save a certain amount of marketing for the next bull market, or is it kind of that you have a plan in place regardless of when the bull market starts, or is there kind of two separate plans going there?
I think people by now know that I'm ultra cautious with funding, because I've started businesses before and I've had to sustain them through recessions, and, you know, far worse than, to be honest, what we're going through in the short term right now. So Evergrow is always going to have what I would have said to a client back in the old days, an emergency fund. You know, I don't think I could ever let Evergrow get down to less than $500,000, which would be enough to sustain the project and marketing for, you know, 6 months at least. So obviously we have a lot more than that right now. But, you know, we want our utilities to start making money as soon as possible, and then we will base investment on a ratio of, you know, income. So we can say, well, we made this much income, so we can invest more here. We can distribute this income to holders, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know,
if we get a lot of traction behind the wallet and it really starts to take off, you know, we'll put more resources and marketing, you know, towards there. If Luna Sky really starts some traction, then we can, you know, move to there and really, you know, push some more money towards there. So it's really going to depend on the market and, you know, what you now. It doesn't mean we're going to stop marketing each of them. We're just talking about, you know, putting more resources into that. And Sam, I can back Sam up in saying he's very good at budgeting, and sometimes perhaps too not good, but too stingy is not the word, because he's not stingy, but he's, you know, the worst thing that can happen for a project is you run out of money. You're dead. You're dead in the water if you run out of money. Okay, that's the worst thing that could happen. And you know, like you said, $500,000 was not to be spent. You know, you don't get down to your last $100,000. You know, I can safely say Sam will never let that happen. And, you know, because of what I've seen all the books and everything like that, where he's very cautious about how much we spend per month, you know, right down to the dollar. It's very, very important, especially during the bear market. And hopefully now, and we've all talked about it, you know, as utilities come out, we can open up a little bit and really start, you know, putting that money to good use while still keeping a budget and still maintaining a healthy project, a marketing budget.
Awesome. So yeah, I mean, I asked a couple questions at once, but I was just kind of like, I personally feel like the price being down so much might allow for more traction and more FOMO to build, as opposed to it being a lot higher. So like, I kind of wonder if it's not, and I'm not just trying to say that to just say positive things or paint everything in a positive light. I really think that if the price is a lot higher, then it's harder to get traction up. So the more we go down before we release the utilities, that it might allow for that Evergrow to do its like what it did in the beginning, which was insane. I was just like, this thing just keeps going up. And so I believe, there's a part of me that's like, if Evergrow can get that momentum going again, that it might just do what it did in the beginning.
I think
it's obviously what we want to happen, obviously, and it's what we're working towards. And I totally agree with you. Like at this price point, it's not going to take much to move Evergrow. We, during the last rally, we were having like $100,000 buys, throughout the day. It was insane. We had a $35 million volume day, which is more than our market cap right now. So we know that it can happen. And obviously, look, if we just want to purely talk about it from a technical point of view, whilst the price is this low, the potential for big price movements is incredibly high, and I can say that again without giving investment advice or implications of growth, but it's just pure logic. A 10 grand buy now can have much more of an effect on the price than if we were worth $1 billion. But obviously, what happens when you get up to those higher market cap levels is you tend to have a lot more holders. So it doesn't mean that you can't still grow when you're at $1 billion, because we may have 1 million holders at that point rather than 140,000 or whatever the number is. So yeah, I agree with you from a technical point of view. From where we are now, launching utilities is unprecedented. We hit 1.5 billion when the project was 6 weeks old and we hadn't even fully established the team. And we had the worst website you've ever seen. The designs for the utilities were just like terrible. And yet we had a $1.5 billion market cap. Now, we've got a great team. We've got way more funding than we had back then. We've got a beautiful website. We've designed these beautiful utilities that are in beta testing on iOS, etc. And we're sat at a 25 million market cap. There's no logic to it. But obviously, if we can get that traction again, then it is. We've obviously got much lower taxes, so the buy-sell decisions become a lot quicker and easier when you have a lower tax, because you don't really need to make much to cover your profit to make a profit. You don't need to have such a huge leap in value as you did when it was a 14% tax. So I agree with you that there obviously is more potential for growth when you're based at $25 million than when you're based at $1.5 billion, for sure. And beyond that, we are a completely better project than we were back then. We've learned so much in 18 months, and everybody in the management team has pretty much been with Evergrow like from day one, like probably a few days longer than me. I started chatting.
I'm the day one. I was a day one. Got put on a moderator. I'm actually the longest person in Evergrow as of right now live. That's on the page.
But those guys were all very early on, like.
And then Cody Rocket came in the first week of October, if I don't remember. Yeah, just about that. So we're all
yeah, which is a nice sign as well. It shows that everyone's committed.
Yeah, that's why when real quick, that's why when and to bring this up on a side note, this is why when people when I was in Crypto Control's space yesterday, when people try to attack Sam on different stuff about the wallets and this and that and the other thing is scam. Well, if he was doing that, that one means I'm involved, Cody's involved, Rocket is involved, because we know everything that's going on. We have a big ledger with where everything gets paid out of. We see where all the money's going. That would mean we're all involved, and we were investors first. We're not being paid that much to cover anything up, and I don't think any three of us and Sam would be part of a project that'd be like that. So it's not just Sam running all the now he does hold the wallets and everything like that, but
I do know. But that's the reality is I think a lot of people missed that that I only took legal control of Evergrow 6 months ago. God, long past the time when the liquidity pool had $100 million in and all this stuff. So I think the basic questions of honesty have been covered 1,000 times, but it's all there on the blockchain. We've regularly shared it. Our liquidity pool has been permanently locked since day one. Not a dollar has left that pool apart from through trading. We've shared those links. We can share them again every day of the week if people want to see those pink cell lockers. They can see the LP addresses. Our marketing wallet has been, there for people to scrutinize since day one. Like the link has been available for people to see, so people know how we're running the project. I don't take a salary from Evergrow. I never have. So my motivation, trust me, I'm as motivated as anyone on this planet, because I haven't made any money for 18 months. I've actually lost money because I've had to pay for quite a lot of stuff out of my own pocket for Evergrow, just because of the complications of fiat payments outside crypto and money laundering, all this stuff. It was just made more sense to me just to stick it all on my own credit card. So trust me, I might be in a nice villa here, but I'll look at Sam driving a Tesla. I'm like, dude, I had a very successful business before Evergrow. I wasn't in crypto, I was in finance. I believe in crypto as the next level of the previous business I was in. I remember doing the early AMAs, 10 days into Evergrow, people were saying I bought the villa with Evergrow money. I'm like, blimey, I'm a quick mover to complete on a villa within 10 days in Spain. This kind of thing. So, but I think we generally haven't seen much of that FUD over the last 6 months. I think you get to a point where teams are trusted or they're not. You either trust the team because they've proven it over the long term. We've been scrutinized 10,000 times and nobody's found any question of trust. So I think we're past all that, to be honest. I suspect there's the odd little comment, but I personally don't take offense of it these days. It's been, I think every crypto project that is down, at some point someone's going to accuse the team of doing, they call it a slow rug pull. I'm saying it's not a slow rug pull when 10,000 investors are selling their tokens because we're in a bear market. That's just called a bear market. A rug pull is when people take money out of the liquidity pool, which we can prove on the blockchain has never happened. So people throw this stuff occasionally, but I don't know about you, Paul, but I don't really see any of that stuff anymore. I think we got past that stage.
It's starting to calm down. Yeah, no, calm down over the last 6 months. It really did, because I think people started to realize, and actually do a little bit of research. So all you had to do is do a very tiny bit of research. But something I wanted to touch back on was the liquidity pool. In case anyone had any questions. So it was locked for 400 days initially, and then we relock it every 3 months now. There is a reason for that. So we all discuss it as a team. Just let you know, any decision that is made, Sam discusses with us. Now, the final decision is obviously up to him because he's the boss, but he discusses everything with us. And we decided to lock it every 3 months because what if something happened with the SEC or something happened with the blockchain, whatever happened, we would need to have access to the liquidity pool to move it or to do something with it. So that's why we don't lock it for an entire year. Now it's every 3 months, just in case we need to, do something with it because something fails out of our control, SEC regulations or whatever it is. So that's why we do every 3 month interval now. And as soon as it's unlocked, it gets locked literally that same minute, right afterwards.
Yeah, I think for me, as far as the trusting you guys, and I feel like those are the barriers you have to get over when it comes to a project is, are they going to rug? Is the contract safe? Can you trust the team? And for me with Evergrow, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with me, I know I can trust you guys, and I know that you guys have, you want Evergrow to be, which I was going to ask Sam, is it still top 20? Is it still kind of where you're aiming for still? You still feel that way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nothing's happened in the last 12 months to make me feel, firstly, that any project has come along that I feel, well, I don't want to, I mean, yes, firmly are ambitious on that, because I feel that we're going out of our way to do things differently and to create value. And maybe that means a slow burner. If you see a lot of the big projects these days, they generally didn't just explode overnight. They generally had a period of building and consolidation that could have lasted a couple of years in reality. And then they sort of exploded onto the wider market when they started doing things differently. So, our ambition is still to prove to the world that a DeFi project can directly return value to holders. And I don't think I've seen that yet, and I'm not talking about $50 of income. I'm talking about consistently generating income and paying out, in whatever way it might be, through rewards or staking or whatever system we use. consistently prove to investors that we are generating value through our utilities and returning it direct to investors. I've said this before. I know a lot of projects who say this is how we're going to generate value, but none of them are specifying exactly how that value gets returned to holders. So they might be making lots of money. They might be doing brilliantly, but where are the holders in all of this? Like for us, it's like we are holders, and that's it. And if the holders, yeah, sure, I might control a team wallet that's got a lot of tokens in. But for me to be successful, I need the project to be successful. I'm not, I could have just taken the $2 million out of a marketing wallet or the $150 million out of our team wallet a year ago, and that could have been a way to be successful. But, I don't want to be looking over my shoulder for the rest of my life, and it's also not how I run businesses. So the way for me to be successful personally is to make the holder successful. There's no other way to do it for me. That's the only way I can achieve anything, because I will ultimately get my rewards in the same manner as any holder. And sure, I'm a whale in this project, but there are other whales in this project too, and there are smaller holders. It's all relative to what people could afford to put in, what risk they're willing to take on EverGrow, and that's how it should be.
I'm sorry if you've told us before, but I don't know if I do know it. But what made you get into EverGrow so early? Like what stood out about it to you?
I think Praveen's. So for anyone who's just listening now and doesn't know the backstory, so Praveen was the original founder of EverGrow. Very, very smart guy, from a marketing and dev background. It was his, the rewards and the way. So I was looking at crypto skeptically for 2 or 3 years. In fact, I was friends with someone whose dad installed Bitcoin ATMs in the UK 10 years ago before anybody, and he was offering me Bitcoin when it was worth $1, and I was like, yeah, I'm not getting involved in this, don't even bother. He said, let me put a couple of $100 worth of Bitcoin into a wallet for you. Everyone's got that story about Bitcoin, so I don't lose any sleep over it. And I was like, don't bother, I mean, what's 200 Bitcoin worth? It's not worth it. That's what I said to him, but never mind, you live and you learn. So I was very skeptical about crypto for a long time, and I think people from traditional finance tend to be, but I've also been very open-minded in my life about business. So, it took a long time. I was a slow burner, but I'm always very curious as a person. I like to learn things, whether it's science and nature or technology or whatever. So I started at least learning about crypto. And again, I had the same skepticism I have now. Like, I didn't really see any project where I understood the direct link between the holders and the devs, and how can the holders benefit before the devs benefit? Where's the transparency? Where's that direct route where the holders truly benefit from the success of the project? So I think EverGrow demonstrated that from day one, by the way the contract was designed, but also by the way the roadmap was designed. And although we've made some major changes to that roadmap, the original concept of we will return, profits to holders, that original concept was kind of there from the beginning, and that's what made me I actually contacted Ajit, who was there on the top of the website, the Evergrow website. So I, as lead dev, I assumed like the lead dev is always the one who runs the project. Well, actually with Evergrow, it's actually Praveen, who's a very modest, quiet guy, but Evergrow was his idea from beginning to end, So I contacted Ajit first of all, and I think people who experience Ajit know he's a very, very quiet, shy guy. So I got very sort of short replies to him. And then I said, look, I really like what you're doing. I'm going to invest in EverGrow, and I'd like to offer you guys some guidance, as someone who's run a business before, because I like things, but there's a lot of stuff that I think you can improve on. But I think your ultimate idea, the contracts, etc., is really interesting. And so that's where it started. So I ended up, the first person I actually ended up speaking to was Jacob. So Jacob was like a day one mod. And I think Praveen, put him on the core team straight away. And then I ended up in a video call with Ajit, Praveen, and Jacob. And I just said, look, just let me come on board as an advisor. But I've always been, not to sound like arrogant, but I've always been a leader by sort of natural, I've never worked for anybody. I've always run my own businesses. So, I think the perception was that I was the dev and the CEO and all of this.
Look, even in my mind, when I look back, I just thought, because it was so early on, that you were the face of EverGrow. I think everybody just kind of felt like Sam's the face of EverGrow. So it's weird to think about oh no, there was a time period where Sam was looking at projects, saw EverGrow, and it caught his eye, and then he got into it. So
even during the first, like technically for the first, whatever it was, almost the first year, I was an advisor to Evergrow. I was an advisor to Evergrow until I formally took the project over from Praveen. So at no point did I have access to the contract or to any funds or anything like that. I would just try to guide. But the truth was, I was, and I have full respect for Praveen, Gene, and Jacob. They're great guys. They're very ethical. They're very honest. They did everything they could for the holders. Like nobody slept for 6 months. I'm telling you, nobody slept. Like not that efforts weren't ongoing. It's just that there was a series of bad luck, issues over and over again. And there came a point where I was like, Praveen, look, for me to be able to run this project properly, I need full control and I need to make some tough decisions. I need to, offload people who I don't believe are going to be the right people to help us guide this project back to $1 billion market cap. I need, and I had to have that conversation with Praveen. And those guys, you probably don't remember, they gave some of their team tokens that they'd already been assigned to their private wallets. They sent them back to the team wallet. This is a remarkably ethical team from the very beginning. But the truth is, like, we didn't have the right people in the right places to run a complex multinational company. So, as I said, it was around 6 months ago that I formally took control. That's when I took control of the contract, the marketing funds, all of these things, and made swift changes to the personnel. That's when we got everything changed. We got the new website. We completely, we decided basically, Lunar Sky went live, but we'd already decided we wanted to completely rebuild it. Nothing had been built to the standards that I wanted them to be built to. And again, this is no criticism of anybody. Everybody involved in Evergrow has always tried their best, despite mistakes and things going against us. There's never been a lack of honesty and effort from any single person. And I think one of the most remarkable things about Evergrow is that you'll never hear anybody who was on the team saying bad stuff about us. You'll never hear anybody in the team saying bad stuff about someone who's left. There's been a genuine top group of people working for Evergrow from the very first day. And we are friends and on good terms with everyone who's come through that journey. And it's just remarkable how even when we've had to basically let people go, they've been okay because they believe in Evergrow and they're like, well, look, as an Evergrow holder, I'm okay with it. It's like, I believe you're making the right decision to let me go or whatever. There's not been a sniff of anything like for 18 months. And I think that's also remarkable in crypto as well, to think about it.
Did you have something you wanted to say, Paul?
No, I just was muting myself just in case there's wind here, so I wasn't sure if it was getting in on Sam or anything like that on his speaking terms. No, I mean, I got my own story, but it's different than Sam's story. You asked me the same question about...
Well, I just didn't know if anything that Sam had said had made you think, oh, yeah, I'll think of something else that you thought would be important to say.
I mean, I was there through it all, and like I said, I started out as a mod, and before Sam came along, the first week, I really just was getting into the first 3 days. Everyone knows our stories. I put $8,000 in. I was looking to double, triple my money, and then I got in and I started becoming a mod, and I started, I wanted to become a part of the community. I started learning about the rewards and coming in, and I was like, I put a little bit more money, and then Sam came along, and then I kind of got really invested, and I was like, okay, I'm going to keep my money here. I really believe in this. So it was a perfect storm of the rewards coming in, the concept. The guys were so nice to me. Jacob, Praveen, and Ajit were so nice and welcoming me when I was coming in and allowing me to. At first I was in Telegram and I was like, hey guys, what's Discord over here? Can I go and build that over there? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Go. They were giving me a lot of leadway. Very nice and welcoming. It was such a welcoming environment. And it felt like you wanted to be part of something bigger than yourself. And that's why I joined. I mean, everyone loves money. Everyone likes that. But I saw it as a thing where I could, ingratiate myself into something and become something bigger. And next thing you know, weird story is actually when Sam did his first AMA on Telegram, he put it on Twitter and was like, Telegram, live Telegram, hosted by our team leader or community manager, EverGrow Paul. He didn't even ask me. It just got posted up there, and I was like, I was so excited, that he put me, on the tweet, and I was hosting, basically taking the questions, off and on again, and we had hardly talked. And he just told me, I think he saw me speaking a lot in Telegram to everyone, and was like, okay, I think he'll be a good host in there because he rambles and talks a lot just like I do. And so it was actually kind of a funny story that I just kind of got put in there, and it was a shock to me. I was so excited because I was becoming a part of something, but then I needed, in my mind, I felt like I needed to show, because he lives, all the way in Spain. He had so much going on with these guys. That the core team had so much going on during that run up. I mean, they even didn't think it was going to do as good as it did. And I think everyone knows that. So it was really crazy around that time to even talk and to talk to people and figure out what's going on over here or there. So all I did was try to buckle down and do as best I could in Discord and show the team my value. That's all I could do, and I wanted to do that, and I felt a part of the team. And then it kept time and time again to gain trust. And then right in about January, Sam came to me and asked me to be a community manager, and that's how I got really ingratiated into the team. But it was my belief in the team and Sam especially. But those guys could have like I said, sold that team wallet. If they wanted to take off with it, it was worth $150 million, and those guys could have ran off with it. It wasn't locked. Anyone could have ran off with that, and they didn't. And that is, even though it's supposed to happen that way, you're not supposed to do that. Obviously, it's wrong. But I mean, how many times have we seen it in crypto where people run off with, the team tokens, or they rug a project or whatever? Imagine that amount of money, and people could have disappeared. And I think it says a lot about the core team members, a lot about Sam, and about the team that happened. And you know what? They turned off marketing during the 2 weeks that most of the volume came in, just so they could give more back to the holders. It's just everything that they had done and do is all for the community. Have mistakes been made? Yes. Errors, all this kind of stuff, absolutely. But like Sam said, it's not from a lack of work, and I saw the entire thing go down. It was, those guys worked their tails off, just as we are right now, and it's a lot different behind the scenes. Because I was a newbie looking back, and I was like, why don't projects have this coming out or that coming out? Now I understand why.
That's like why for me, there might be some people, but for me, it's like, okay, I know I can trust these guys, and they've demonstrated that like almost every turn of, every time something's happened, we've demonstrated that we can trust you guys financially and that you're doing your best to make things happen. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to run into problems. But, for me as an investor, and I kind of want to go back to this if you guys don't mind, is like, I like to ask like, okay, is that what's really going to cause this to do well? Like what actually is going to do that, and think about that for myself. And for me, I do start trying, I feel like it goes into the psychology and the sentiment of the holders and the outside holders to just anticipate profit. And I think that having feeling like you're early is a huge part of that. So after a project kind of has that feeling that you're not early, it kind of comes down to like, what do you have to offer? And so I was wondering if you guys could speak to the, incentive, because I feel like if there's a lot of staking, well, that might be build up FOMO in people's heads where there's all this staking, or like, the other thing was the consistent BUSD rewards from the profit from utility, or buyback and burn. If we know that we have a massive buyback and burn wallet built up, and every investor knows, hey, we could put a giant green candle on that. So I was kind of two questions. I was wondering if you could speak to the buyback and burn and how much you have, and to the FOMO, that the psychological FOMO that's going to cause people to believe in Evergrow and FOMO in.
Yeah, I mean, again, good questions. I mean, it comes back to, where's the value of Evergrow compared to other projects? I mean, one of the things that we've innovated, which I believe is going to, probably be replicated, but maybe not in time, is our utilities, I believe, have infinitely more potential than utilities that are named after a project. Because, and I've said this 100 times, it was one of the issues with our big whale, why he started selling. And, everyone knows this guy's selling. He can sell, I don't care. If he doesn't understand the project he's invested in, then fine. Like it's better, again, it's better that we lose some whales now at a low market cap. It's very easy to soak up those sales than it would be if we were worth $1 billion. So listen, the thing that we're trying to emphasize is the reason we have an infinite number of users for Atlas Wallet and an infinite number of users for Lunar Sky is because of the branding. If that was called Evergrow Wallet, The only people that would ever use it would be the people who are invested in Evergrow. Simple as that. If you want to name, it's a vanity to name your utilities after your project. It has zero benefit to your holders if you're setting up your project the way we are to make profits for your holders. Atlas Wallet, the marketing campaign that we have, I believe is an absolute killer. It's never been done before. I don't want to say too much about it, but for me, the idea behind it, and Paul's emphasized this a lot on various AMAs, is if we could get 10,000, even just 10,000 regular users on Atlas, that would be hugely successful for Evergrow as a token. If we can get 100,000 users on Atlas, it will be a mind-blowingly good for Evergrow as a token because of the amount, because all those little transactions will add up to substantial buying pressure from the money that we're generating from Atlas Wallet. Now, Atlas Wallet is going to be, it's going to have everything you can do with Trust Wallet. I think Trust Wallet is the best wallet out there because it's simple to use. It doesn't have too many features. It's not over complex. It's not like a kind of wallet that a dev would want to use to do complex things and trading and all of this stuff. It's a very user-friendly wallet. But for me, it lacks a little bit of intuition. Even saying it's user-friendly, it lacks a little bit of intuition on the user experience. It lacks some pretty important features that they probably introduce over time. But the biggest thing it lacks is any effort whatsoever to connect with communities on the other side. And that's all I can really say in terms of Atlas. I believe that we're going to produce a product that is slightly better, let's say, to start with, because at launch, like, we can't go too crazy, like, again, to compete with a product that's been under development, owned by Binance and under development for many, many years. But I believe we can launch a product that's slightly better than Trust Wallet at launch and will continue to get better. But way, way more importantly than that, we can start stealing their market share because of a very unique approach to how we're going to treat projects and how we're going to treat their communities through Atlas Wallet. You cannot do that if you call it Evergrow Wallet. You're dead in the water from day one. If you call it Evergrow Wallet, even if every single person who's an investor in Evergrow downloaded it, that would not be enough for us to be successful. And this is the issue that projects do. We have a very similar approach to Lunar Sky as well. Lunar Sky is not going to be tribal. It's going to be about getting lots of NFT communities together to feel a part of something. And again, even things like Cody's talked about, and Rocket's talked about, having live chat for Atlas Wallet and for Lunar Sky. Who is offering that? If you have a problem with Trust Wallet, where are you supposed to go for help? If you had a problem with OpenSea, you'd be lucky to get replies from support, etc., etc. So everyone says, what are the unique features of Trust Wallet, of Atlas Wallet and Lunar Sky? Well, we have unique features. People know about that. Lunar Sky, the features are being kept quite tight to chest, but that's because Cody is in charge ultimately of what gets leaked from that, and he doesn't like to leak stuff. He wants to just blow everyone's minds when it goes live, which is cool as well. With Atlas, I think Paul and I just get too excited to be able to hold stuff in. But it's not just about unique features. It's very, the best product in the market is not necessarily the market leader. The most complex, feature-rich product is not necessarily the market leader. Often it's just the simplest product with the biggest reach and possibly the best customer service that becomes the market leader. So do we need to reinvent the wheel with Atlas Wallet? No, but we're trying to, in a very simple way, remove the need for centralized exchanges by having on-ramp, off-ramp, the ability to swap, cross-chain swap, all of these things right there without leaving the wallet. And we know that you can do that in other wallets to a degree, but we're going to have more partners than anybody else has had at launch. We're going to keep building partners. We've got innovative solutions that will include things like bill payments and, as you know, banking, credit cards, all coming, down the road. But I don't think any of that is why I believe Atlas Wallet is going to be so successful. I believe why Atlas Wallet is going to be so successful is how we can embrace hundreds of crypto communities simultaneously, and get those projects to promote Atlas Wallet to their communities. Imagine 100 projects saying, go and download Atlas Wallet. Imagine the reach. Who else is doing that? Has a project ever told their community to go and download Trust Wallet? No, because Trust Wallet stinks when it comes to the project side. It's like, oh, you want to change your logo? Oh, good luck with that. Send us $3,000 worth of BNB, and we'll think about changing your logo. And if we screw it up, then you have to put in another, request via GitHub and see if we'll change your logo for another $3,000. That kind of stuff's nonsense. Oh, how come my token price isn't showing and our project launched 6 weeks ago? Because you have to wait for Coin Market Cap, which we also own, and they don't like you, so they're going to screw your project up for the next 6 weeks and make you wait. None of that stuff's going to happen with us. We're going to have manual control. We're going to support projects at different stages of their journey. And because of that, those projects will support us, and that will drive users to Atlas Wallet. And with Lunar Sky, it's going to be a similar approach to community, but obviously we're not dealing with, projects directly. We're dealing with crypto communities, but obviously we will be talking to NFT projects. So I hope that kind of explains why it's not just about having this mind-blowing product that has all these complex innovations. And we want the product to be as simple as possible, but to do more things than the incumbent, like Trust Wallet. And I think Steve said in his spaces the other day, if we manage to get 1% of Trust Wallets users, like active users, it'll be a mind-blowing success. And we are aiming for far more than that. Trust me, we're aiming to take a substantial share.
I said the same thing to Sam. Like I said, I was, a newbie. I came in summer 2021, and, I was about 4 or 5 months in. And then 6 months in, when Sam said he wanted to name it not Evergrow Wallet, I said the same thing. I was like, why? Why would we not name it Evergrow Wallet? And when he explained to me, and I've been a businessman for 20 years, and I went, duh. Okay, that's of how the gap is between me and Sam, and he doesn't believe it, but I'll say it. The gap of the business mind is here and here, but such a simple such a simple idea of, because crypto is so tribal, and like Sam just explained, like, if we, go to a project and say we want to do an AMA on Atlas Twitter, imagine if it was Evergrow Twitter. They wouldn't want to come in there and do an AMA and, get their whole community to come over and use, Evergrow Wallet, because then their community would maybe start buying Evergrow. They wouldn't want that. And crypto is so tribal. Well, you have Atlas Wallet, and, pretty soon we're actually going to have its own verified check mark and take the Evergrow out of there, and making sure there's no Evergrow on the page very, very soon. So, other projects can come on there and, promote, that they're on our swap and that they're live in our wallet without exposing themselves to Evergrow directly and their users, which is huge. So I didn't understand it.
It's huge, but it takes an awful lot of balls, to be honest, to say to your community, we're not going to call it Evergrow Wallet, and then to try to explain to them over and over and over again the business sense of it. But the business sense is infinitely better than calling it Evergrow Wallet, infinitely better. And I'm telling you, this was one of the reasons our biggest whale started selling Evergrow, was because he didn't understand this concept. And there's only so many times I can explain this stuff to holders. He was like, you're going to miss out on the branding effects of Evergrow by not. I'm like, yeah, we'll miss out on some branding, but what we won't miss out on is an unlimited number of users driving significant revenue into the Evergrow token. So if I miss out on a little bit of branding, but I see the Evergrow price go above $1 billion, I'm okay with that. And again, not investment advice. It's just my personal target. So
that's what I was kind of curious, is if you said if you only got 1% of the Trust Wallet market, then could you go into, because maybe I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, like what would the volume on Atlas Wallet look like for Evergrow holders? Like how would that affect them if it was successful?
I think we did some rough numbers, and you can't hold us to this, guys. It's very hard to know. People do a lot more swapping in a crypto bull market than they do in a bear market, and each person is different. But if someone acquires $10 in fees per month, in active users, let's say we have 10,000 people active users, and they do $10 in fees a month. What is that? 10,000 times 10? That's $100,000 a month.
Which I mean, and Trust Wallet has 10 million. Trust Wallet has 60 million users, but around 10 million who use it every month, which is insane amounts. Like, again, so we can eat into that. With the difference is we're going to be generating revenue on every little movement, and we've negotiated hard, so it's not going to cost people like a significant amount of money to use Atlas Wallet's features, rather than to go to third-party websites and connect their wallets and do all those things that nobody wants to do. I talk to crypto investors who literally pay like 5% in fees because they're too lazy to go somewhere else and pay 3.5%, for example. They just want the convenience of using something they're familiar with and is simple, etc., etc. Now we're beta testing our swap, the cross-chain swap. It's the simplest thing in the world. It's like you just literally, swap within the wallet. You don't have to do anything. It's done. You just click confirm and the swap. I think Paul did a video the other day, and he refreshed it 3 times and the tokens were in his wallet. I think, Paul, you said it took 22 seconds to do a swap within the wallet without any third-party interactions whatsoever. Now, we make a very small income from every time somebody does that. Now, if Trust Wallet's got 10 million active users, and there's no customer support, there's no project support, etc., then I'm God, if we could get 100,000 people using, which is I believe 1% of 10 million off the top of my head, using Atlas Wallet every month, that would be mind blowing. Like it would be potentially a million a month that we could do for buyback and burn. It's like, or whatever we choose to do with it, because obviously we can distribute that as direct rewards. This is a huge amount for a modest percentage. And this isn't a percentage of the market. This is just a percentage of one competitor. The market beyond that, you add MetaMask onto the top of that, and the market's even bigger. So these are the points we're trying to make. And this is, again, why we're focusing on these 2 utilities and not on Crater, because we can make EverGrow a success with these 2 utilities without risking the project. Whereas Crater would be an all-in bet. It's like we're either going to go for glory or we're going to die. And we probably, at the point where we were, probably had 1,000 to 1 chance, if not a 10,000 to 1 chance of going for glory. I'm not willing to take that chance with our holders' money, because it's not my money at the end of the day. It's everybody who holds EverGrow.
And we're definitely trying to, make sure, all the, the Luna Sky NFTs, every file, Atlas accepts. We're going to try and make those things link as best as possible. We have some other ideas in the future for updates that we're going to do to make it even more, connected. Mm-hmm. But we want to make sure, and we have making sure that every file that is available in Luna Sky is, because Trust Wallet, they don't take some files, and you can't get certain NFTs on Trust Wallet. So we've actually made sure, and we're making sure that every file type is accepted by Atlas Wallet. It'll start out with BSC and ETH, and then we'll add from there. We can't have everything all at once. I know everyone wants everything all at once, but you end up waiting another 6 months to a year, something like that, which we do not want. We can't keep. There's a lot of features we want to add, but we got to get it out to you and then update. Otherwise we'll just keep going and going and going and going. But like I said before, I've looked at all the wallets when they launch. This will be the most feature-rich wallet at launch that there's been. When Trust Wallet launched, they didn't even have these features, so it will be that feature-rich. But it's still not going to be done and completed, not even close. We want to add as many direct buy buttons, and that means because we can't control the third parties. So if you go on there and try and you're in a country or a state, and your bank doesn't accept this payment provider, say Transact, we want you to be able to, that's not our fault. That's the third party's fault, and there's nothing we can do about that. We want you to be able to go to another payment provider we have to be able to buy your crypto. And maybe that one doesn't work either, but we're going to keep adding payment options, as many as we can. So, you can always have one that you go to that works for you, where you can buy, as many cryptos as you can. So we're going to keep adding and keep going, but a lot of these direct payment providers, you need volume first. So
yeah, and I think when you talk about the features of we'll jump back just slightly, linking together our ecosystem, bringing Luna Sky into Atlas Wallet and vice versa, that just brings more users on board as well. And also we have planned like social features within Atlas Wallet and Luna Sky that can link up. Again, we don't want to go too far into that at this stage, but there will be social features on both of those applications that we believe we can link up, which is, again, pretty innovative and pretty cool. So again, that's ways to bring in users who maybe as Paul said, we're going to have more NFTs available, the NFT types available on Atlas Wallet than the market leaders. And we're going to have our own sister marketplace, which will also, have multi-chain and all this, that, and the other. So that can bring in people using Atlas Wallet from a whole different world, like not just people buying DeFi and Bitcoin, but actual NFT users as well who want to use Atlas Wallet for their NFT collection. So it just brings in a web of people. Let's, like, from my point of view, I don't want to do too long, because I also know people like to absorb as much info as possible within an hour or so. So CC, do you have any like more pressing questions you want to ask us?
I mean, I have a couple that I'm thinking about. One is kind of, it might be a little bit more personal, but in my head, as an investor, because I always just come at these things for like the actual questions I want to know. And I always think, oh, Sam, he tweets at Elon Musk, and Elon Musk tweets back occasionally, and you're a big financial advisor and like well known. Is it wrong of me to think that there might be opportunities with connections that you have that might have a positive impact on the future of Evergrow, like networking, but on a higher level? Is there any of that going on behind the scenes, or is it?
I think it's no, it's a fair assumption to make. Look, when you're building, you don't sort of use up your contacts too early. It's similar to marketing. You don't market products until they're ready and they're live and they're working well. Like so yes, I mean, look, you guys know that I also am a panelist on Mario Norfol's show, and which is a great honor as well. There's some big hitters on that show. I haven't been doing it so much recently. It's really just because of the time constraints. I mean, I can go on that show and be a panelist anytime I want, and every time I go on it, I get a lot of followers. So obviously, that's through for people who don't know, I have 2 Twitter accounts. It's almost like a community vote that I do get involved in politics and other things, which are too divisive. We don't want my divisive opinions to affect Evergrow. So we actually did a community vote, and it's like, so I have the Evergrow Sam Twitter, and I have the Sam Twits Twitter, which over the years I've had close connections with some pretty big hitters, and I think people know about that. But I don't go. There's a respect there, but also it's about timing. You don't use your wild card until the time is right. But I will certainly start being able to throw more exposure onto our products. I think doing it from a product point of view is actually a smarter tactic than talking directly about Evergrow. But I can certainly help our products grow by exposing them to bigger audiences. And right now we're just so deep into, I've never been particularly bothered about my personal profile at all. I'm quite a quiet guy, to be honest. I don't go out partying. I work a lot. I've never been bothered about building my profile. I spoke to Mario lots of times, and Mario Norfolk, who runs the biggest Twitter Spaces, and he's like, Sam, you should be on our Spaces every day. Like, I think it's safe to say I probably have liberal views. So compared to, but like CC and Paul are both probably on the other side of the political spectrum to me, and we're good friends, and we laugh about it, and we can chat about it on Twitter and things like that. I'm not, from a political point of view, I'm actually quite across both sides, because I'm a capitalist, obviously. I run an investment firm. I wasn't, I'm not overly liberal in every respect, but I think keeping politics and crypto separate is probably been a wise thing. But there will be a point where I can certainly benefit Evergrow. But Mario would say to me, like, Sam, you could build up a huge profile, this, that, and the other. And yes, I know I could, and I know it would help Evergrow. Right now, we're just too busy for me to be putting myself out there all the time. To go on those spaces, it's huge exposure. It's incredible exposure. I mean, at the world. It's a lot of work, and to be honest, my focus is on Evergrow, not on my own personal profile. Like Mario's at the World Economic Forum, and he said everybody there listens to the Spaces, the Mario Norfolk Spaces, the round table, of which I'm a member. And he said, it's crazy. He's like walking into rooms with these big hitters, and they're all like, I love the show. We get the biggest listener numbers. I say we, I mean, I'm barely on it these days. That's just a temporary thing. I always say to Mario, look, I really love doing the show. I want to be on it more, but it's, right now I have to focus on Evergrow. And, I just had surgery on this shoulder like 2 weeks ago. I didn't really stop working. I'm trying to be a bit better behaved and do my physiotherapy and everything, and not spend too much time on anything extracurricular beyond Evergrow. But, I will do a long answer to your question, CT, but I will certainly do that. I do understand that, it helps, like if the leader of a project has a profile. I've never really been one to particularly want a profile, but I will certainly be able to expose our products to a bigger audience. It has been discussed as well, on this kind of scale. So there's plenty of stuff we've still got up our sleeves,
Awesome. Well, I know you're a busy man, Sam. Thanks so much for doing this. And I could ask more questions, but if you needed to go, I think me and Paul might stick around and do some community questions and talk a little bit more about Evergrow. But if I could throw one last thing out to maybe get your response would be, and maybe this has been asked, but I guess in the crypto space, I think there's this danger of everybody wanting to believe that we're going to the moon. So that's the kind of news they want, and it puts the pressure on teams to want to we need to tell them we're going to the moon. And I think a lot of times that leads to just deceiving them, not with Evergrow, but with other projects where it's like overhyping things. And I was just curious, especially when it's like dropping little hints, like a picture of something, and then people go wild and speculate on it, and we were all wrong. But I was just wondering, I guess, like maybe if you could give me like a number on like what there is that we don't know is it about Evergrow that you guys are working on, and maybe how big some of the things that we might not know that you guys are working on are in comparison to like Luna Sky and Atlas Wallet.
Yeah, look, you're so right about this being a thing. Before we started, Paul was like, "Can I talk about the other thing?" And I was like, "No." And the reason for that is, yes, there are other things we're working on, several other things. Something that is possibly bigger than everything. And it's not a blockchain, by the way, before that speculation goes out there. I believe that Evergrow can launch a blockchain, but we need to have 1 million plus holders, like before we get to theirs. Launching a blockchain too early is not a good idea. It doesn't, and I'm not talking about 1 million like dust wallets. I'm talking about 1 million like fairly fresh, engaged holders. So it's not a blockchain, but there is a product. The problem is I don't want us to talk about that stuff because I don't want the focus to be taken away from the great stuff that we're on the verge of launching right now. And I think there's a risk if you start saying, we've got this other cool thing coming in X amount of months. We don't want to go down that road again. So we're not going to, there is other stuff. Please don't think that we're just going to launch these 2 products and then sit back and go, right, that's our job done. We know to get back to where we want to be is going to require constant work, constant innovation. So, we will as we get closer to these other things, like start talking about them publicly. But we learned our lesson that we know now that if a dev tells us it's going to take 3 months, it probably takes 8 months, or 9 months or whatever it might be. So we learned our lesson. So these other things are big, and as we get to a point where we can see the timeline in a slightly clearer way, then we'll be able to start talking publicly. But yeah, I would say realistically, Luna Sky and Atlas Wallet probably represent about 30% of what we want to do over the next 2 years.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it would have been much higher. That's crazy.
No, that stuff should have already, like, we in our minds, that should have already been done. I mean, even though we're focusing on it, but there's so much better now, but so much more we want to do and take this, Sam, I know Sam didn't get into this for mediocrity. He didn't get in this to, ride the wave. He got in this to, make waves and provide something long lasting to the community, to holders, to people in general. He's done that his entire life, and I don't expect nothing less. And this is why I've chosen to even stay with Evergrow, because of the vision and because of Sam, and haven't left and hasn't, I've been offered people job, this is not known. When you get a project so big, they offer you jobs here and there. You come work for us, give you a whitelist, Bob, we'll do this for you. Nothing that. I like to stick with what I know and who's going to be successful, and that's what I'm going to stick by, and because I really believe in it, or I wouldn't be here. I can speak for Cody and Rocket and the rest of the team also. The people that are here really believe in it, and we don't do it for money at all. I can tell you that. right now. Now maybe down the line we do it, we just get it down the line, but really right now we're doing it for you guys. It's not the money, and it's never been about the money. It's been about being a part of something bigger than what you are, and I know that's why Sam got involved too.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure, Sam, you got to get going and do your stuff. But I really appreciate you guys coming on and answering all these questions and giving us an update. And I look forward to maybe doing this again sometime if you guys are down.
I'm gonna stay around and answer.
Yeah, awesome.
Community and stuff.
Yeah, I'll leave you gents to it. CC, thanks so much always, man. You've supported us from the very first day. So I'll leave you in Paul's very capable hands. Paul, don't leak too many things. Yeah.
Well, I can't promise anything, but
No, I just don't. As long as I don't find out, it's fine. Okay, guys, thanks so much. I'll catch up. Take care, everyone.
All right.
Later.
Catch you later, Sam.
Cheers. Bye.
What's up, guys? If you guys are in the chat, do me a favor, hit the like button. That'll help promote this more to probably more Evergrow people, but why not get them in here? But yeah, just hit a like on it. It'll help it with the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys have any questions, we've got Paul to ourselves now, and we could try to, trick him into giving away, some secrets about something.
I wanted people to know, I didn't want people to know that, we had planned this, that Sam only had so much time, so I wanted him to do more of the talking, while he was here. That's why I stayed quiet as much as I could, because I know I could talk after he left. So I wanted to, I know you guys love hearing from him, so I didn't want to, take up too much time. I let him answer all those questions, and I could, later, like now, talk about anything we want. So I got until about 3 o'clock, so we got about 40 minutes.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, if you guys, any questions you guys have, Paul will do his best to answer them right now. Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
No, I got a wallet beta meeting at 3 o'clock Eastern time with the fellas. So that's why I would have to go in 40 minutes.
No, totally understandable. I appreciate you doing this. I think one of the interesting things that you brought up during that was that it seemed like you were almost in charge of like going and looking at a bunch of other wallets and comparing them to the Atlas wallet to make sure that, hey, when we come out with something, it's going to be different in such a way that is it that it makes it easier for people? It's just more convenient? Because I know convenience is a huge thing, and if there is wallets that go straight to your bank account, I haven't tried those, but I just know that whenever I wanted to finally pull some crypto out, it was a pain in the ass to you have to sign up for a centralized exchange, and then you have to verify things, and then you have to. It was just so many extra steps, and it was stressful.
Well, yeah, it was me and Sam. It wasn't just me. Okay. Sam, can you close that door, please? Thank you. Sorry, the dog's just barking. Another dog in the house. Anyway, it was I did it. It wasn't just me. No, it was Sam. Sam also went through wallets. We would both go through wallets, and then if I found one, I'd say, hey, download this one, look at it, take a look at this. Then he would, do the same with me. Hey, take a look at this. This is back in November. And then Sam's the one he designed this wallet from scratch. When we took a look, but so it was just him designing this wallet. And obviously, when you give it to the devs, they put their own little spin on it and stuff like that, obviously, and they come back with stuff and you change and you keep going back and forth. But, you just see it. He had, his little sketch sheets out and stuff like that, and other. He's actually pretty good at stuff like that from, not being a tech guy. Pretty good at it. Putting, even sketches together and putting them on the computer and then sending them out what you would like to see. But we both did it. It wasn't just me.
Okay.
But, with Cody and Rocket, they were, in fact, they were so focused on Luna Sky and stuff, we didn't want to, we realized before that we're spreading ourselves too thin. So we needed to break ourselves off into kind of teams and do it that way. But, like I said, they knew what was going on. If they had, like one of the features with Luna Sky, not Luna Sky, with Atlas, Rocket came up with. I'm not going to say what that is because it's already been stolen from us, of course, because someone else found out about it.
Really?
But,
jeez.
Yeah, it's behind the scenes and stuff. Next thing you know, like some other person announced it like the day after, we told the devs or something. So it happens, guys. You don't, I know it's hard to, I keep saying it, but behind the scenes, you see this kind of stuff that goes on, with all these other projects and stuff. It's crazy some of the stuff you hear, see, good and bad.
Just a lot of greed, I would think. A lot of greed going on.
Who gets there first, greed, but I really don't think it's like, it's a lot of it not, who gets there first. It's who, you know, what's the word? Who does it the best? Who executes the best? Afterwards.
Yeah.
You have the best project in the world, but if no one knows about it, what's it going to do?
So Andrew, a guy named Andrew Oxenham in the chat, this is directly related to the wallet, so maybe you can speak to this. He says, will the wallet be able to bring in brand new tokens that go straight onto PancakeSwap just as quick and before they hit the centralized exchanges?
Yes. I can't go through too much, but we're going to try to have as many on there, literally right as they launch. So if they have a liquidity pool on PancakeSwap or Uniswap, we can put them right on. Like no problem. We are, when the time is right, which is gonna be very soon, we're gonna release a sheet, a listing sheet where tokens can list on there and provide their logo and this and that. But we're gonna go in a step further and do other stuff. And this is Sam, what he was saying earlier about not discussing too much about our marketing plans.
Yeah.
But what the question just was, yes, and that's one of our big plans is, to get those projects on Atlas before, because, with Trust Wallet, I don't know if everyone knows this, in order to put your logo on there, it costs you 5 BNB and you need to have 12,000 addresses, okay? Or you can't have your logo on there. And then the price can't get on there unless you're on CoinMarketCap. So our prices are taken directly from PancakeSwap LP, ETH LP, and then the other blockchains from, the most popular dexes on that chain. So, as soon as they list, and we get a hold of them, boom, we're going to put them on the wallet, put the logo on there, and then we have a process that we're going to do about promotion and stuff like that I can't get into right now.
Okay.
And any questions that's in there, I don't care, good or bad, ask away.
All right, I got you. J Flash, another one on the Atlas wallet. He wants to know if there'll be like a tutorial, like at the beginning, where I don't know, I could imagine it being like little character or little arrows pop up and say, "Here's where you can do this," and it just kind of walks you through it.
It won't be like when you download the wallet. We may have like a video we put out, like on Evergrow Official, walking through it, But I'm telling you this, one of our staples is it's easy to, you'll know how to use it. You'll know how to use it, literally. If you've ever used a wallet before, you know how to use it. Now, for newbies who don't, we will put a tutorial together, going through the wallet, how to make a wallet, how to do this, how to do that. And then we'll put it on the Atlas website. Maybe we'll even put it somewhere on the wallet, inside of settings or, this, that, the other thing. But, one thing at a time. But no, we're not, as soon as you open it up, we're not going to have a thing that comes up that says, I've seen those things before, like it takes you step by step through a tutorial.
It's usually annoying.
Yeah,
but...
it really isn't. We're not going to have that, right away. It doesn't mean we're not going to have it in the future. But like I said, guys, when you start with a wallet, you have a contract and you put everything in the contract and then it gets built to spec. If you want to add anything at all, which we did, we added like 5-6 things, you have to make a different contract and then it keeps going. So, if you keep adding stuff, it just takes more and more time and we're already, 5 months in. Now, this wallet would already be out, guys, if we just had no swaps, no direct buys, and, ETH and, Binance Chain and Bitcoin. And even if direct buys, we can, all those MoonPays and ramps and, you can actually source code them and, copy and paste them and put it in your wallet. The only problem is you don't make any money off of that. You can put them inside, like people that have swaps out there that have, you can buy directly off of. They have them out there. You just copy and paste and you put them on your website. But the problem is that company makes all the money. And it's not like, and I said this in your space the other day, it's not like we're money hungry trying to make any money, but we're making a product that needs to make profit. And we have what we did was, we either made a revenue split where no, like, let's say like a buy partner. Any token you buy will make a profit. Well, usually they charge 3%. Let's just say it's 3%. Okay. Well, usually what happens is they charge 3%, then it goes in Atlas wallet, and we charge 0.75%. So now you're paying 3.75% when you could have went directly to them and paid 3%. So we went to them and said, hey, let's do a revenue split. Instead of adding something to it, how about you pay 1.5? How about you get 1.5%? We get 1.5% based on the volume and split it. This way we don't add anything to the to the fees that they already have. Yeah. That's the better way to do it. Now we couldn't do it with everyone, because some of them just don't do it. But that's what we tried to do, and with 2 of them, I think we did. The other ones we had to add, and the other ones we added a very small fee. We want to make sure we're competitive and low, and we're not trying to gouge our customers. We're just trying to make a little bit of profit in little tiny places that we can, both swaps and all the direct buys. There's no, if me and you send each other money, we're not taking any money off that. Obviously, that's a transaction. Only you pay gas, but that's not us. So.
Okay. Yeah, we can go through these just to make sure we get everybody. Murdirt, hey, what's up, Zelda31? Murdirt says he wants an update on the Simplex.
So I'm actually in the group with Simplex now, guys, and I see what's going on. So I'll tell you this exactly. It's being integrated in the wallet right now, and they didn't want to put the actual integration in last week because the terms and service wasn't put on the wallet yet. Like, literally, this is what we deal with. Like, it's just a little thing. The terms and there's already a private policy on there. There's a terms and service on the website, but it's got to be inside the wallet. So anyway, people had to go back and put the terms and service inside the wallet, and now they can integrate right now. Now it'll be integrated. I think it'll be ready for launch. I'm pretty sure. Now, what I don't know is if Evergrow or Lucro will be ready on Simplex. I'm pretty sure Simplex will be ready. But Sam deals with them when it deals with individual tokens. I can say I had a meeting this morning with Transact about, I've already paid, Alchemy Pay and Transact will have Evergrow you can buy on them. So that's 2 right there, that you'll be able to buy Evergrow with them straight on. Lucro, you'll be able to buy on Alchemy Pay. Transact, we need to write a legal opinion for that. I'm just being honest about what's going on. Yeah. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of this and that. I mean, guys, it's absolutely crazy. Mercurio, the other one on there, you need to be on a tier 2 exchange or Fireblocks in order for them to pull price. They don't pull price from PancakeSwap, so they're no unless we get on one of those. I'm going to talk with Sam and see if Simplex can be ready, or if the Evergrow and Lucro can be ready by launch. It should be. We've been talking to them for over a year. How long has it been since talking to Simplex? But they've been going through so many liquidity providers and selling this and selling the company to this person. It's just a nonstop mess with them. So there's a little breakdown of the other providers.
Yeah, we have I'm Goo. Yeah, that definitely sounds like it. And let me know if you need a break from just talking nonstop. I'm Goose says, will there be a vetting process for Atlas Wallet, or will it be a free-for-all for listing? And is there any concern about brand damage or blowback if a rugged coin gets listed?
Good question. So, okay, you know how the swap is different from just the being able to put tokens on the swap. So you can put any token inside the wallet that we support the blockchain. We support 8 blockchains, obviously, Ethereum, Binance, Solana, Kronos, ADA, all the big ones. So even if it's not in the search bar, if we have 300 pre-selected ones that's in the search bar, and every day we can just add tokens that's what we're going to do. But you can insert just like in Trust Wallet, you can insert the contract address, and the token is going to show up, and you'll be able to connect to PancakeSwap and trade it, whether it's a scam or not. So for that process, if we add tokens, in the search bar, they're really not going to be vetted, because there's no need, because wallets are just a window, and we can't vet every single project that's going to be on there. Even with the swap, it's the same thing. We're going to have people fill out a form if they like to be on the swap. We're going to look at their Twitter, but it won't be an entire process. Now, if we know for a fact, that a project has been rugged or whatever, and we can take it off the swap, like off the search bar, you know. But it's not like we can stop people from putting in the contract address and swapping it just like you would on Trust Wallet. It's just a window, and honestly, it's just, you can do all the vetting in the world. It's still going to get through, and you just don't do that with wallets. People need to, do their own research just like any other. Now, however, when we do AMAs and stuff on Atlas Twitter, we will be vetting projects. The ones we have on there, they will be vetted, and we'll have a strict, you have to be doxxed, you got to be audited, whatever thing we have, obviously it'll all be non-financial advice. And even when you have docs, and even when you're audited, even when you have this, you still get rugs, you still get scams, you still get all this. But we'll do our best when it comes to, doing our AMAs and Twitter, to build up that account and build up, get other projects to promote Atlas and stuff. But as far as inside the wallet, swap will be a little bit of vetting, but inside the wallet, no, you can't do it. People can put projects on there anyway. It's just the way of the world. People still need to do their own research.
Yeah. All right, Paul, just go ahead and just tell us everything that Sam doesn't want you to tell.
I talked to you earlier. I was like, can we, say this? But he's right. If I say this big thing that, we, are thinking about, working on, whatever, next thing you know, people just start talking about that, and then forget the stuff we have coming up, and then we got nothing for later to promote, to market, for people to get excited about. They'll start getting excited about that and forget about, the stuff we have right now, which we want people to get excited about. So, there's a rhyme and reason to everything,
Yeah, I think from like my approach, it's like the more it's all an ecosystem, right? And I get so sick of that, hearing that word in the space, but that's just literally what it is, right? And so
it fits perfectly. I had the idea 6 months ago. It fits perfectly.
So to me, it in my opinion, it's not like it takes away from it. It just adds to the ecosystem. And so the fact that he said like 30% of what we know, and there's 70% that we don't know, and not trying to just like overhype it. It's pretty. It does make me just be like, okay, well, what are they working on? What do they got up their sleeves? Or
and there's also so many other directions we can go into. Like one, even with the stuff that we have in our head, and we, we're not. What I just talked about, what he just talked about, we're not exactly working on right now. Like our focus literally is on the things in front of us. Atlas, Luna Sky, staking, it's now just, getting all this out. There's nothing else really on our mind.
Oh, another good question that I missed. Gary Santos just brought it up. He said, "What's going on with abstract VR?" Because we didn't touch that while Sam was here.
Yeah, they're doing really well as a company. It's just things are a little moving slower than we thought, and it really is no thing on them or us. It really is Luna Sky needs to be released, because the first thing is getting Luna Sky into the metaverse.
Yeah.
So once Luna Sky is done, then they can develop an API that has all the information, and then they hook that API up to the designed metaverse, and then you have Luna Sky in the metaverse, and that's the first step to everything,
Yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to look at your NFTs in the metaverse.
It's pretty cool, and not many people use the goggles and everything.
I do, but yeah.
You do. But people do, and it's a good thing. But their company, and you can go and read about it. Like they're in the building process right now, and they're building all kind of new stuff, and they're involved with defense contracting, the University of Tennessee, and all this stuff. So it's just really about what we're focusing on. We're not trying to spread us. We're spreading ourselves too thin. We're really just trying to focus on this stuff and getting this out to you right now because we know this point blank. You're all getting tired of hearing us say soon. It's right around the corner and all this. I get it. I'm tired of saying it. The guys are tired of saying it. We want it out to you guys and to show how good it is. But we can't just release it when it's 98% done and it's got like 20 bugs that are very small that just got to be fixed here and there, or something's got to be adjusted, but it takes a little time for this to be done. The devs don't work the weekend, even though we do. We were working on it. It would already be done because we were working 24 hours a day making sure it was, but it's not how it works in the real world. So
what utility I think we need is a dev team that works fast, because that seems to be like hard to find in this place. Every project I cover seems to have issues. It's like either the dev team's incompetent or they can do it, but it just takes forever. And
a lot of them are learning on the job too. Even though they like the people we have contracted to do the wallet and the marketplace, they've built these before. We made sure that
they're not winging it.
Yeah, they're not just winging it, but also we're adding different features that they've never done before. And it's a different kind of, and we're adding partnerships that the revenue gets split. So and then stuff gets done in a different way, gets implemented a different way. And then I understand, because I'm not a dev or anything. With a little line could be wrong in the code, and it messes up everything. I'm sure you've heard this.
Yeah.
Maybe back me up with this. One little line messes up, and the entire thing gets messed up. So it's not as easy as just, oh, you've done it before, let me just redo it. Because it's a whole different build. We didn't steal someone else's, code and, make the wallet. Like boom, there it is, just build it. Like a source code. That's the easiest thing to do is fork something. The only thing that actually, is not, and which we want to do in the future, and we'll tell you, is the swap. The swap is basically Pancake Swap and Uniswap mixed together. And the cross chain swap is, a third party that integrated their cross chain swap into ours. We put a tiny little fee on top of that, so you don't got to go out of the wallet in order to use Pancake Swap, Uniswap, or anything. You do everything right there, automatic slippage. You see what the prices are, and literally it's probably an extra cent, to do it inside the wallet than you would outside. So it's not like you're gonna leave the wallet to go save some money. We've literally made it that cheap, but maybe 2 cents or something like that. Like, it's not much. It depends on how much you buy, but I think on like $100 it's like a penny or two.
A guy named Alaska Moondog, he was asking about, is there an approach to getting like difficult to buy coins? He was saying like XRP is difficult to get, and you guys have any approach on that, I guess?
We want to have as many direct buy partners as possible. With the original contract we had with the devs, the 3 that they've worked with before, and we added Simplex because we've already been working with them we're trying to work with them for a year, are Alchemy Pay, Transact, and Mercurio. So those are the ones we're starting out with. I have a third one that is freaking awesome. They off-ramp right to your bank. But they've never been inside a wallet before, so they got to take their browser and integrate it inside of a wallet. So they're still working on that. But we're going to keep adding, like, I contacted MoonPay. They didn't contact us back. They got to see volume first. And a lot of these other big ones is they got to see volume. So we got to get it out first. So I want as many on there as possible. So if a person, let's say the 3 that we have on there, the 4 that we have on there, they don't work for this one person for this one token, well, they can use another one. I want to have as many on there as possible. So, if one doesn't work, because we've all been through this, you go in a wallet and you got to call your bank or this or that, but this one works fine. We want to have as many on there as possible. So, every person can buy as many tokens as they can with as much ease as possible.
Yeah.
That's the goal. And we want to make it, we don't want to make this a year from now. We want it to happen, 6 months from now. the card, everything like that, as fast as possible. Not saying it's going to happen within that period, because I don't want to give a timeline. But that's the goal. Many options as possible.
That, I imagine this and just in my head that it would be cool if like the wallet was designed for like, like people would say your grandma or something, and like that tutorial thing they said, like, yeah, that it'd be a lot easier to just make a video of somebody showing how to do it. But if there was something that like literally walked you through, so that somebody who, and everybody gets overwhelmed when they get into crypto, you know what I mean? It's overwhelming. It's a lot. So that, I mean, I don't know, that could be an interesting marketing strategy. The next bull run takes off. People are wanting to get into these coins they never heard about. And yet here's Atlas Wallet saying, hey, we've made it the easiest as possible, and you can go right to your bank account, and you could just like pay it, have like a commercial made. I mean, I don't know if you can do that or not, but that just, I don't know. That sounds like an opportunity, but that might not be the exact approach that you guys are taking, because it seemed like there was something that Sam was hinting at that he didn't quite want to say what it was on why Atlas Wallet he thinks can be huge.
That's on the promotion side and the marketing side, which we don't want someone to take, so no. The tutorial thing makes a lot of sense. I understand where that comes from. That always can be added later. Remember, we're not going to have everything on launch. A tutorial can be always added later. Let's get this, what we have contracted out, and it's paid for, and they have milestones and stuff. They've already reached the milestones. We're already past that. We're already into the the last part of the beta stage. Let's get that out, and then let's focus on different ideas. Because I could tell you this, even my beta testers, they got their ideas too. Even to me, I got more ideas.
Yeah, everybody starts thinking of ideas. Yeah,
I get it. We all want the add this and add that, add messaging, add this, add there's so many different things you can do. Add blockchain messaging and this and that, and let's do it. It takes time, guys. And contracts and this and that. Unless you had your own dev team, which we've thought about. Don't think we haven't thought about that. Having our own dev team, where they can just work around the clock, just on our stuff, and not 3 other people's or whatever.
I know you only got 15 minutes, so we could try to hit. I think I've got a question. There's one.
I can go over a little bit. We're fine. I can message my beta guys. They're fine. We didn't.
It's either way. It's whatever you want to
do. If we have questions and stuff to talk about, how many people are
there? We have about 108. There was one that I meant to ask while Sam was here, and it was about that deal you guys came up with, because I know that you guys were looking at my wallet. And you saw that as soon as I bought some Evergrow, you guys decided that you're going to come up with this over-the-counter deal to buy the whales, and then, it's all a discount right now. You guys couldn't have waited.
That's what we did. We made sure you bought first. We did it. That's what my idea was. I was like, Sam, don't do it before crypto.
Yeah. Okay. He just bought. Yeah. Just do the deal. Do the deal. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do it after. Yeah. That, all Sam's idea. All, it really was. I mean, just mind blowing. It was like, what do you think about this? And we offered him 400,000 for, because the thing is, would he rather wait until, if we mooned again, or if we got back to that again? He's already made millions of dollars in reflections. Would he rather wait? He can make a quick 600,000 right now, and you're still left with 20 trillion Evergrow. So if we do get back to 1.5 again, 20 trillion's worth 20 times 3, $60 million. I mean, how much do you really need? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's what we were thinking behind it. And as a project, you want to have as you don't want the whales to have as less control as possible, especially a big one like that, which can ruin your project for years to come. And look how it worked out right now. But so. He went with them and said, hey, let's, buy for 400,000. He came back with 6, and we agreed with 6. And then the idea came, as we was talking about it, he was like, well, what if, we burn, whatever it was, 9, and then we have 10 for staking. And what if we sell back to the community over the counter? We can recoup that money. Because the biggest thing in a project is having money. Like, not a lot of people understand that, is having the money. Like, if you don't have it, you have nothing. Like, you have nothing. You have to stop building, you have to stop this. Now, I would probably keep on working, but like I think probably, I couldn't work full time for Evergrow to get another job. A lot of other people, they're not getting paid. They probably lose interest and stuff. So money is everything. It is really everything when it comes to a project. Um, and he was like, what if we could recoup that money, but help the holders also? It's a win-win. We tell them exactly what we're doing, and, we can sell back to them for this price. It's at a little discount price. And we ended up selling it all back. And then the second biggest whale sold us $1 trillion for $20,000. And we sold it for 60, which was a discount because it was worth like, $1 trillion was worth 75,000. So he got a discount of it. And so we made the money back out of our marketing wallet. So not only did we, and this is all Sam's idea, and we're blown away by it.
It's an interesting idea because you're pulling away from the whales, and you're selling it to the community. They're getting a discount. They're getting some. I guess why would the whale agree to that if they could have sold that much for more? Would be the question.
Well, no, because
okay.
The thing. Well, he was at the time. He was saying, he's a very big supporter of the community, and he wants to help out the community, and really, he didn't want to kill the project. Let's just say he sold all of his tokens, all 50 trillion. Once you sell 1 trillion, the price goes down. You sell another trillion, then everyone else starts selling. So he's not going to get that kind of money out of it. That's why he's selling right now at incremental, things. So he doesn't do that. But he wouldn't have made as much. He still had 20 trillion left. So it's not like he would have made any more. He wouldn't have made that much money. I think we did the numbers. If he ended up, but the thing is, if he ended up selling everything, he wouldn't have made. He only would have made like $1 million or $2 million. But everyone else would have seen him selling because you only can sell $1 trillion at a time because of our anti-whale system. So everyone else, all the other whales would have sold too. So he just would have hurt his own bag. So it doesn't make any sense for that to happen. Okay. So he helped the project.
So it's kind of like
out.
a safer way to take profits while helping the team, while helping the community, and you gotta be a shout out to the whale for doing that as well, because like it's basically him helping the team and the community, by agreeing to that deal. Even though it might help him a little bit, I feel like it's like you have to be dedicated to the project and the community to want to do something like that, I think.
Well, then he turns around and now he's, people see he's like selling.
I don't know what happened there, but
the thing is, imagine if he still had 50 trillion, he was doing that. We would be going through this for the next 6 months because he would have so much. So, that just saved us. Sam having that idea in there. What if he got mad after, not mad, but like thought, that, whatever he was thinking after, before he did the deal. And he still had the 50 trillion doing this. So that's how much big whales can hurt you. So we eliminated that problem. He only has 10 trillion left, which is another 3 weeks of him, selling. So, okay, have fun. I'm good with it. I'm fine. Like, doesn't matter to me. It's cheaper price for everyone that really believes, and I know what's coming. And I think everyone's going to be so happy what's coming, what's going to happen in the future. It's going to just take a little bit more patience. And I think, what's tough to see, and Sam was talking about it, where we work so hard and we see what's going on behind the scenes and we're doing it every day, that we know we're making progress. But the thing is that people don't see it. We try to release some leaks and stuff like that, but they just want it. They want it now. They're like, come on, it's been 18 months. And I get it. We get it. Like, I get so frustrated. We're going to the devs and being like, come on, let's go. And they're working too. They're working hard, but we want to make sure we don't release a thing that's just going to break down, but it all does look great. And I hope you like the little leaks of the wallet. It works great. Just had some little kinks we got to work out. And the guys have been working, the wallet team has been working extremely hard on this, guys. Just going through every little thing, making sure the swaps work right, you're getting the right conversion, all kinds of stuff. So I'm hoping we're a few weeks away, if that. I'm really hoping that. I just can't guarantee. The biggest thing is gonna be the App Store. So we want it to come out. you know, and you guys might, we want it to come out more than you guys. You know, we got all this pressure on us. You know, we want to deliver for you guys. You know,
Steve B, his question is Lucro the main form of payment for all utilities? Will Lucro be the main form of payment? Are we contracted with them for all payments to include defense contracts, etc., referring to the abstract?
so it's we're not like contracted like that where they have to use Lucro for everything. No, like it's just kind of like a partnership of where, you know, any crypto they use, it's going to be use Lucro. So anywhere that they use crypto, they're going to use Lucro, um, and or Evergrow if it fits somewhere, but it's really going to be Lucro. I don't think it'll be Evergrow, but you know they're not going to use another crypto. You know, whether, you know, if they offer a game or that's in crypto, anything, you know, like they have a thing with DoorDash.
Hmm.
They have where, you know, someone's wearing goggles. They're the VR goggles, and you can order DoorDash to the VR goggles. You know, we're figuring out a way right now to where you can use your Lucro to pay for your DoorDash. But the problem that we ran into was uh, that, you know, DoorDash and these people, they don't want crypto, and they don't want something that's, you know, moving down. So we're gonna to hire a dev and then find a way for someone to pay in Lucro and turn that into fiat to pay to DoorDash.
Hmm.
You know, so that's like kind of one of the things. You know, it's very intricate, very, you know, very thing, and you know, like I said, all these big partnerships, they move very slow. But like I said, the games with Lucro should come out in a little bit. We just got the contract for it for the couple games, and those should create some good volume, and they're going to be fun to use. They're not like computer games. They're going to be like fun, quick games you do on the computer and stuff that we've all used, like on Pancake Swap, hinted, and like they're really, you know. So, but Lucro is going to be the volume to use on that. So we don't make any money off of it or anything. It's just pure for volume for Lucro,
Okay.
and we're going to keep going on top of that. You know, especially with Luna Sky. Luna Sky, I think, will be a big a big vehicle for Lucro, because people can list in Lucro and pay in Lucro, and a couple more surprises with Luna Sky when it comes to that also.
I think
Which
that
the
was
guys,
another question I forgot to ask, so I'm glad that you said that. Is there going to be? I think I heard Sam say that when Luda Sky launches, there's going to be another marketing campaign for the Evergrow Man NFTs, and then they'll finally decide on the winners.
yeah. So when it launches, we'll probably have about it'll probably be about 30 days, 45 days. We'll probably have it go on.
Mm.
Um, we haven't said an like an actual like how much time, but we're not going to make it a lot of time. But we want enough still to be able to market, you know, Evergrow Man to as many more people as we can, because you know that only benefits Evergrow. You know, the more Evergrow Man we sell, the more we get for buyback and burn.
Yeah,
Um,
like as much as
so
it sucks having more people buying it, it's like most of us aren't going to win anyways. So you want to get as many people as you can, and it'll benefit the community, buyback and burn, and all that stuff, right?
yes, so we're gonna have, you know that's why we made these memes and stuff like that there, and you know we're gonna, you know, Rocket and Cody have very good plans on how to market this. Sam's behind them 100%. I'm behind them 100% on what we're trying to accomplish with that. So yeah, we're gonna have one more round with that. You know, whether it's 30, 60 days. I think it's gonna be 30 days. You know, I'm just guessing. You know, I'd want to make it 60 so we have more time to sell more. But, you know, it'd be like a thing where we sell like 30, or maybe like we do a 30-day, and then let's say we have X amount left, you know, then we auction off the most rare ones, you know, uh, and then kind of go from there. Is that
Awesome.
me? Is that you making all that noise or me?
I was muted, so
Uh,
what's the sound?
no, it's the Discord. You know, boop boop boop. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, I think that's
my
on your end.
it's Sam and Rock and Cody talking on there while I'm, you know, live
Yeah, tell him to be quiet. Tell him you're doing.
Yeah, I'm live to the nation, and they're all, how it is. I like how many tokens would one hold to be considered a whale?
Yeah, I
Like,
saw that one. I was like, yeah, I don't know. There's charts, but like it's not like we all agreed to a certain set of numbers. And,
yeah, I remember when my thing was like a trillion, was
yeah,
like even in any token, it was like a trillion. Like that was my like thing. But once your trillion is worth like 3 million, you know, when your all time high, if your trillion was worth 3 million, you know, shoot, if you had 100 billion, you were a whale. You know what I mean? Like, what 100 billion was what 200,000 at the all time high. That's a whale to me. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it depends on the.
yeah, it was actually more. Yeah, because I only had like 60. I think I only had like 60 billion, and
Yeah.
I hit at 200,000 at one point. So
Yes. So it really depends on the price of and uh, the other people in the product in the product. If you're top 10, you're a whale, no matter how much you got. So it's all relative to each
yeah, it
project.
definitely is relative. Like there's charts out there that will show like
Yeah.
shellfish and dolphin and all these weird names and
Yeah.
but
I was a newbie. Like that's why I got into Evergrow. I just wanted to be a whale. I was a whale in a project called like Layer One, and it wasn't going anywhere. I think it was like a just total scam. And I got out of it, and I was like, on September 25th, I just sold it, and I was like, I just want to be a whale. Like I just was such a newbie, and I bought all this Safe Moon. I just want to be a newbie, and because I spent like 30 grand on like 11 billion or 11 million now, but 11 billion Safe Moon at the time. And I was like, and then I was like, free launch pads, because every launch pad you had to stake all these tokens, and then Pink Sale came up, and I'm like, oh, okay, what's this? And then Evergrow came up in the corner, sold out 5 minutes, and I was like, that's fast. That seems fast. I never knew, like I didn't see it. Usually ones would tick up and take days. I was like, 5 minutes, that's fast. I wonder if it launched. Oh, it launched an hour ago. Okay, let me buy $1,000 worth, and then over the next 3 days,
and you didn't
you
know
know,
that buying that would lead to this, that's pretty
I had
crazy
no idea. Like I
series
was
of
just trying.
events.
I was like, maybe, I was like, it sold out fast. Let me double, see what I can. I bought $1,000. Next thing you know, it doubled in price in like an hour. And I was like, all right, I sold another billion of Safe Moon. Let me buy, another 1,000. And then 3 days later, I bought $8,000 worth. And I was like, holy shit! Like, just kept going up and up and up, and become a mod and doing this, and so much stuff is going on. And but then it's like, when do you sell? Like
That's
most
rough.
people, yeah. Like I did sell a little bit, getting out like I told everyone. But if you invest 8,000 and you cash out for 100,000, that's a win, right? But my thing is like, what if that 100,000 it went up to 3 million? So at the 3 million mark, even though I'd sold 300,000, I'm sitting there and I made like 80 grand in rewards. I'm sitting there being greedy, and I'm like, I'm seeing Binance and all these other ones at 25 billion, 50 billion market cap. Why can't we do that? Like I was a newbie, mind you. So I'm like, my thing is like not about not cashing out more money. It was about not. It was like missing out on all that big money. That's how I think as like a. I've been a gambler my whole life, and this, that, the other thing. I'm like, that's what I'm thinking about. And then, next thing you know, like it starts going down, and I wanted to stay at around 1 trillion tokens. If I had like 4 or 5 trillion, I would have easily sold 1 trillion to get myself a little nest egg. Um, but I didn't have that much, and I wanted to stay around 1 trillion. Stupid me, you know.
I don't
But
think so. To me, it's like it depends on what that money is worth to you. And then, like for me, I go and I look at all the holders and I see what they're holding, so I get a good idea of what are they sitting on when I'm hitting my selling points, and is that realistic? Is it realistic for 30 people to be sitting on $10 million? Like probably not. And there was a lot of people. There was a lot. I remember thinking that, like, damn, there's a lot of holders sitting on over $1 million with Evergrow. But I wouldn't look back and say you made a mistake. To you, that just wasn't enough money, and it did have the potential to go further than that. It just didn't. You know what I mean? That Evergrow could have kept going if people didn't take profits, but as soon as people took profits, then you lost that momentum of what it could have gone to. It could have went to that. You could have hit your selling points. And I think that people are experiencing this where they look back and they go, oh, I should have. And it's like, well, you didn't have that information. There's no way you could have known. Because if it had kept going up, you made the right decision, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing. What if I sold when my bag was worth 250,000, like my family told me to, and then I was sitting there, I sold my whole thing for 250,000, and then I saw it go to 3 million. I'd have been like, oh my god, like I sold it this and it went to that.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That hurts me more than the other way around. You know
I think
what I
so
mean?
too. Yeah.
But that's me personally. Now, I'm not a victim at all. Like I'm sitting here to a hot sob story. I did make 80, it's what, $70,000 in reflections. You know, I did cash out 300 grand. I put 200 grand back into Evergrow though. So so I made like 100 grand. Plus I had other whitelist spots that I was in. Made 30, 40 grand off of those. Took care of mom. 3 vacations, new living room, new bedroom set, everything for her.
We just had 2 people at almost the exact same time say, I think the CMC price screw up really hurt the project.
That the what?
The time that the CoinMarketCap price said that everybody had billions of dollars in their wallet or whatever.
Oh yeah, like trillions. I had trillions.
Or maybe it was something else. It basically made Evergrow look really bad. Is that?
It went to like $94, like on CoinMarketCap.
Yeah.
Our price went to $94. And so everyone had trillions in their wallet, and some people sold because they saw like this. Some people had like $20. So when they had $20, it looked like they had it looked like they had 200,000.
Wait,
So
was that the one that caused people to dump, or was there also another issue we had with them that caused people to dump?
there was another issue too. I forget what it was though. One was 95. We had another one where
I thought there was one where it was like showing the price was low or something, so people were getting scared and I don't know. Maybe I'm not remembering that correctly.
Yeah, something else screwed up. I forget what it was though. But the 95 thing did make our chart look really bad because it looked like we had this huge spike, and then
it looked like a major rug had just happened.
like
Yeah.
a rug. Yeah, it looked like a rug. That's what it looked like. It was like a boom, boom, but no one looked at like the actual like price of what was going on, and we went through high and hell water to try and get that fixed.
Damn you,
Nope.
CZ Binance.
Sam even talked to the vice president of CoinMarketCap. Nothing. Shame. Absolute shame.
Yeah, because that's a serious impact on the project. Like having something like that, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was absolutely nuts, man. We went through so much, and that's not like the main reason. Some people sold and everything. But that's not the main reason. Obviously, we had a big down in December, and then in January we came back up, went to 1.5, and then
Yeah.
we're testing Crater, and like people say, like that one that we tested, that was only. That was made for like, maybe 1 million or 2 million market cap for like maybe 1,000 people. Like it wasn't made for, a ton of people. If we released that, it'd been very embarrassing. So that's why Sam scrapped the whole idea, like the whole not idea, but that whole build. It was terrible. Like and the old team and stuff like that. But it was built for 1,000 people. Like what do you do? That everything took us by surprise. Sam wasn't supposed to come on full time until like that January. Meanwhile we're pumping to a $1.5 billion market cap. Shit was crazy. So absolutely nuts.
Awesome, man. Well, I think that's everybody's questions. Unless there was something that you were wanting to tell us, then I could let you go and get to your meetings.
I got some more time if you want. If people still are talking or have any other questions. How many people are in here still?
It says 98 on my
98?
end, but it could be different. But yeah, if you guys, here's your chance right here. If you wanted to ask Paul anything.
But we're we had the daily Luna Sky meetings today, and then getting the UI all polished out, and then the bug bash with that. And the bug bash is basically like 10, 20 people getting together for like 20, 48 hours, like with the devs, and trying to knock out everything they see. Like let's say there's 20 little tiny bugs here and there or whatever, knock out everything in 24, 48 hours, you know? And then we check at the very end, and, everyone, all those 10, 20 people check it, and hopefully it's good. And then, then the migration can start. So the only thing we're waiting on is, how long that's going to take. Is it going to take, 3 days, 4 days, a week, but like I said, that's what I'm saying. We're that close, the migration shouldn't take that long. I just can't give any dates, because we just really don't know the exact dates. It's a step-by-step project, and we're going to get it right. We're going to load test it, but all that little stuff takes, very little time to do, and this team knows what they're doing very well. And I think it's really gonna be worth the wait. Both of our like the wallet is basically done. All the big stuff is done. We just gotta, there's a couple like yesterday we're checking the swap, a couple of the projects at different prices. So we're going back to devs, making sure that all the swap prices are correct, the fees are on top. This is change this writing, change that to this, change this to that, making a master doc to make sure, but everything is done. I think the charts got to get added. Which is a cool feature that you guys don't know about. It's not just a regular chart. And like Simplex and a couple other things, but those pushes are basically almost done. They're just waiting for our final feedback. So we're literally right there, guys. We just gotta kind of get over this hump. Same with staking too. So it's probably all going to come out around the same time.
Yeah,
you see it all
that would be
like
nice.
back to back to back to back to back. Yeah, it could create a lot of FOMO.
Totally Unders wants to know if we're going to have an EGC party at your house.
Oh, you want a party here? You guys have had so many parties at this house, so I'm actually
That would be kind of funny, just hanging out with a bunch of Evergrow people at Paul's house.
That would be kind of funny. I got a big. We actually just opened a pool. It's actually clear. We're just shocked and stuff. But I usually have all people have seen me go live before. I just have this done in the basement. My computer's my little work area, but I decided to bring the computer out here and kind of talk with a good background. And it's 70 degrees out here. It's real nice. 65 maybe. So I decided to liven it up a little bit. I got my mom's worn around here. That's where you heard the phone ringing and stuff like that. Yeah. I take care of her financially and stuff. So she's running around here, but she's great.
So Joe H in the comments says, will the wallet have 2FA for when selling or transferring?
Yes.
Yes. Brune88 says, do you think the relationship with SafeMoon is helping or hurting? It would probably be both.
It's indifferent. I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters at all, because when is it ever mentioned? When do we ever talk about it? We love the SafeMoon community. All the people are great. The people that still support it, the people that don't support it, they're all great. And we'll make a decision on the wallet when ours is released on whether we stay on their swap and wallet. But that decision will be a business decision made between Sam and us, the management team, on strictly what's best for Evergrow. I'm kind of in my mind I'm like, why would we be in another wallet? When we want people to come to our wallet. That's how we make money. For our holders. So why would we be over there?
Yeah.
It's not like a trust wallet where it's just a window. With SafeMoon, you got to deposit liquidity and stuff like that. So it's a different animal. You know what I mean? It's not like like any other wallet. You could just add Evergrow in there and you're in there. Anyone could do that, even if they're another project. But with SafeMoon, it's a little different because we supply them with liquidity for their swap, and that they built their own swap and everything. So it's not just a wallet; it's a swap with liquidity too. So we'll make that decision when the wallet's released on what to do and what's best for Evergrow. But it won't have anything to do with morally or what's going on, unless something happens between now and then that's like really, really bad.
Yeah.
But it's indifferent right now. We support the community, and we just don't say certain names.
So Farting Owl, it's a great name, man, with a
Great,
PH. Farting Owl
great name.
is developing Crater and selling it to Twitter in the realm of possibilities.
Elon's never going to buy it. But developing anything and selling it's always on the table. If we develop Atlas and it is making a shit ton of money, and someone comes and offers, Evergrow or Sam $100 million for it, and it's making, a couple $100,000, whatever it is, you know, we'll take that $100 million or whatever it is. Well, Sam will understand. He's a businessman. He'll make that deal. We have 50, $100 million for the chart. We can take some of that money for develop something else. So everything is always for sale. Everything's always for sale.
How much for that chain?
This chain, this is actually one of the only things I bought with my Evergrow. Let me tell you that. Okay, I actually went right when Evergrow was like spiking, and I went to the store, and I wanted to buy a chain because I had this like those like those army ones with the little tag. I had
Yeah.
silver and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to get a chain. I was like, and I had some money on me. And the guy like put out these chains that were like $3 to $5 grand, like, really like flashy and stuff like that. I was like, no, 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 no. Like, I'm not a flashy guy, but I do want something around my neck. I said I want it kind of tight, but loose. And I was like, under $1,000. So it gave me the chain, $800. It's real. I can wear it every day. I don't got to worry about it. That's all I need.
Nice.
And I'm, and this is one of the only things I bought myself. Besides going down the beach last summer, I went and stayed down there for a couple months to kind of get away. Those are the only two things. Everything else, my mom. She's my world.
So Rob says, can we get Ramp as a on-off ramping partner on Atlas? I've never heard of that. It's called Ramp, I guess.
I heard of them. I looked into them. Brand provides a lot of different services, so it's kind of hard to do a revenue share or add on because Ramp provides so many services, and they also require volume also to talk to them. So like I said, we already have this deal for this many things. We don't want to change it because it's going to push back the deadline. I want to add as many as possible. Even ones that Moon Pay that everyone has or whatever. I want to add as many as possible. Some new ones, where you can have a checking account, where you can move money back and forth. Your checking. I want everything. So everyone has an option to use a card, a bank transfer, whatever. The fastest and easiest way. I want in the wallet. That's what I want. That is the goal. But there's certain stuff we cannot do before it's out, before we have some traction and some volume. Because I remember we went to this one partner about a card, and they said $150,000 to start, and that's just to start talking, like really, like it wasn't a whole deal like involved, and it's because we're new. That we have no volume, they have nothing, they got to take a chance and blah blah blah. But if we actually get going and we got some volume, it's kind of like with exchanges. Like you can get on any exchange if you got the volume. If you don't have it, they make you pay like 30 grand just to get on, which is ridiculous. So let's get some traction with the wallet first, and then I'll reapproach these people because I've already approached them once. I've tried, even Ramp, nada. But I will. I've heard of them. I've heard them all. I've heard of most of them. And there's a lot of new ones coming out too, and that's what I really want to pay attention on is the new ones. There's a lot of new ones that are very easy also. So I want to provide as many as possible.
Jason Lusher wants to know what you see as the strongest selling point differentiator of the Atlas wallet compared to other wallets, which I think we've kind of hit, but maybe you could summarize it or something.
So the features is the 50 wallets. I think, I've 20 or 30, and I get tired sometimes of having to, delete, put in another one, delete, put in another one. It's such a pain, to keep doing that. So I think that is a huge thing that I'm gonna love. And also, all the profits go back, and this is not a feature, but kind of like a feature of Atlas is all the profits go back to Evergrow. We're not going to keep any of the profits. Now remember, revenue is different than profits. We got to pay for the nodes, the blockchains that we have on there, which is a couple grand a month. If we keep adding them, it'll be more, but we won't add it until we start making more money. So let's get active users on there. Let's get some profit going. Then we can start adding to it and return profit back to the holders. I think that's a big thing because, just like Trust Wallet, what do they do with their money? How much are they making? Are they giving anything back to the Trust Wallet token? I don't think so. That's what we plan to do.
How many Evergrow Man NFT are left? From Julia and Mark Norfolk. Do you know about how many are left?
A lot.
There's a lot. Okay.
I think we sold like 3,500. I'm gonna say 2,900, maybe 25 to 3,500.
That's out of 10,000.
15.
That's out of 15,000. That's not a lot. I mean, if we're about to do a whole marketing campaign.
Yeah, that was only inside the Evergrow community. Remember that. So, and we did about 200. So what I think it was 2,500 because it was 250,000. But remember, a lot of those we saw in like packets. Like people bought 5,
Oh yeah,
4.
yeah. Probably a lot of people were doing that.
But it was 250,000 is what we did. We did buyback and burn with that. So hopefully when we go wider, look, if we can just do that again, what's a win. Selling 15,000 is very hard, especially in this market. If we had like a bull market, I'm sure we could sell them all. But we have, we got strategies to do in the future with more NFTs, with the different things, different strategies and stuff that are going to be exciting, because we have, we need to get innovative. We need to make a big splash later after, maybe in like, maybe like July, August. We need to do something to make a big splash again, and get everyone's attention. Come up with something innovative, new, different that someone else hasn't thought of to kind of put us back on the map. So, don't think we're not thinking about these things. Every day, all day, we talk, and we're constantly, working for you guys. So I hope everyone knows that, and I want you to judge us on, the utilities that come out soon. Like I said, all I was going to do is apologize for the wait, and I'm frustrated too. Hopefully it's soon, but I hope you can say it was worth the wait and thank you. I don't need a thank you. I mean, it was worth the wait. I'm glad that it happened this way.
Yeah.
Now, I wish it was a year ago, but you can't turn back the clock. And then I hope they say, "Oh, okay, now I've seen what they got. Now I believe in the future of these other things that they mentioned that they're going to do, like this big thing or whatever." You know what I mean? So now they know they delivered. Now I know. So that's what I'm
yeah,
hoping.
it'll be an opportunity to build confidence and trust in the team again, which would have a big impact on the sentiment of the Evergrow holders of the future of Evergrow.
But they got to see it first.
Yeah.
It can't go what I say, Sam says, Cody says, Rocket says, or anyone says, even though we've seen and used it. You guys have to see it, use it, And I'm sure there'll be some people out there that are like, how come it doesn't have this? How come it doesn't do that? Or
Yeah.
sure there's going to be, but, I'm confident that 99.99% will like it, and, hope to just know that we will keep adding to stuff. It won't be, nothing is ever final. Remember, a lot of these other bigger projects and companies have been out for 4 or 5 years, have a big start, but that's okay. We're still early, in crypto. So, we're not in a bad situation. We're not in a bad position.
Elias Torres, I'm pretty sure the answer is a big no on this one, but I'll let Paul explain it. He says, do you think you can just buy a social media platform of another recently maybe dead project and use it for Crater, like Cryptor?
You know what? I was so excited about Crater.
I don't think that I think that you can do that. It's just that
Yeah,
like
it,
Sam explained earlier with what Elon Musk is doing with Twitter, it's just not a good time to do it, it seems
it's
like.
so much money, and in order to break even, you need hundreds of thousands of people using it every day. And let's, and are people going to pay for it? And then you end up spending all this money. Now, if we had $100 million, $50 million, 30, we can maybe take a chance and do it, but you know, remember I said before, the number one thing is survival, right now, and being profitable. If we can be profitable, that's great, which I know we will be. Um, but we don't want to waste our time. And not saying that's gonna be a waste of time, um, but it would take uh, you know, 500 to $1 million, just to build it, and then another millions and millions of dollars to market it, and then does it even catch on? And then, does it even make any money? And then it would take 4, 5, 6 years to even make money. I mean, it's just, it doesn't make practical sense. The server space that it takes up to run, that I found out, I mean, oh my gosh, like, it is absolutely crazy how much money it actually takes to run in the background. You get people uploading stuff um, to these social things, and they don't even, and it never gets viewed or used or anything. But you still got to pay for the server space with that, and that's a arm and a leg. And we're really worried about the longevity of the project right now. Hopefully, we're in a position in the future where we can take a risk like that, and maybe build something smaller, maybe start out something smaller and have it grow, So um, it's not completely out of the realm, but right now it just doesn't make any sense. And you know what? If we were in the middle of building it right now and we're like near the end, and with Elon Musk doing all this stuff with Twitter, can you imagine like what we'd be thinking right now? We'd be like, oh my God, like Elon's doing all
It could have
this.
been disastrous, and then you'd have to explain to everybody why you just need to like not put all your effort into it. Would have been really bad. It actually lucked out actually. But no, yeah, I mean, I think it's not a bad idea to suggest that if they ever decide to go back, that they could buy something that at least has what they need built. But Evergrow seems to be that they like to build from the ground up, is what it's appeared to be so
And
far.
it's not out of the case to merging with other projects down the line. Like the best way to grow. You've seen real world companies do this all the time. They merge all the time. Now in crypto it's a little different because you need to you would need to upgrade to a V2 and stuff like that's a little more things. But 2, 3 years down the line, you know you take 2 or 3 projects and merge them all together and create one big project. You know that could be something. And maybe they have a social media platform, that we could turn into creator. Maybe it already has its own base. Who knows? That's how companies grow. Also, that's how these big conglomerates. How do I say it? Conglomerates. These big companies. That's how they AT&T. That's how they grow. Disney. They acquire companies. They merge with other companies.
Yeah.
I don't think we're doing that anytime soon, but in the future, it's not out of the realm of that happening. I don't know how it would happen. I don't know, V2 or whatever. It probably have to do with a blockchain or something because that's everyone would get 1-to-1 or whatever. But like I said, we need 1 million users and stuff. But nothing is ever off the table. You know,
So Savior In Yang says, will there be a point where listing an Atlas wallet will be paid for, or will it be free listing forever? And is there any consideration of P2P in the future for Atlas wallet?
can you repeat that? The first part.
Yeah, it was just, will there be any point where listing an Atlas wallet will be paid for, or will it be free? Which I don't even know. Do you have to pay to get listed, or
No, it's gonna be free. No, everything is gonna be free.
does Trust Wallet charge?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you put in the contract, like you'll see it, but your logo won't come up. So you got to pay. You need 12,000 holders, and you got to get on GitHub, and then you have to upload your logo, on Trust Wallet's GitHub thing. You do a pull request. You have to send 5 BNB to an address, and if you don't have all of their qualifications, 12,000 holders, the 5B&B, the logo exactly correct. Everything's not exactly correct. You get no refund. I've actually done this before. I actually sent in Lucros with like 4,000 holders, and they didn't send me back my 5B&B. It actually says on there to their thing, no refunds. Um, so yeah, we're doing a little different. Our thing is acquiring users and stuff. So no, we're not charging for any of that. We want projects to come, especially new projects, that don't have their logo on Trust Wallet. They're not on CoinMarketCap yet, and they can be in Atlas Wallet. They can see their logo price right on launch day. Be in our swap right on launch day.
It's kind of a big deal too on it. But if Evergrow, or not Evergrow, but if Atlas Wallet ever became like a go-to place, then you could be like, okay, we're going to start charging a little fee and then use that for buyback and burn or rewards or something.
We'll always do what's best for the project.
Yeah, you guys have convinced me of that, like 100%.
And we have other ideas too, that we could do that I can't say right now that we would like to do with Atlas Wallet. I just can't say right now because I don't feel as I want to steal it. It's a great idea, actually. It's actually pretty big. But like I said, it was someone to steal it, But, things always evolve. Crypto adapts, projects adapts. Who knows if we get so big. But, one thing we don't want to be known for is just taking advantage of projects. You know what I mean? And, one thing I would like to do is when we do like AMAs on Atlas is, I'm going to put out a listing sheet where they can get on, and one of the things that they can, check off is with it like an AMA. And once we vet them, they want to do an AMA, let's say, if it's a big project, we'll just do 1 hour with them. Let's say it's like 3, 20 minutes each, because, people have short attention span. And maybe we ask each project to donate $100 BUSD, and we do a giveaway during that live show, during that live AMA. And to follow each project, follow Atlas Wallet, and then retweet the spaces, the spaces that it's in, so it grows more and more and more, and then we do a Twitter picker out of that, so our account keeps growing. New people keep coming back because we do that every time they have a chance to win. They listen to new projects, and the new 100x project could be found that way. So we keep people coming back to that. We're going to grow the channel that way, grow Atlas Wallet that way. They'll keep downloading it that way, but it'll be free for them to come on. We don't want to take advantage of projects and just charge them arm and a leg. Our money will be made in Atlas Wallet to do that. Unless like Elon comes and buys it for like $100 million, then
yeah, cool. That seems likely.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I think that's all our questions, and really appreciate you doing this and like getting Sam and coming on and answering all these questions and stuff. That's really awesome of you, man. And
I asked Cody and Rocka to come on, but it's really hard for them during the day to get on camera. They can always talk, but it's hard to get them on camera. And I know, me and you talked, and we're talking about doing this, but me and you talked. I think people haven't seen me and Sam on camera in a while, and I think it's I want to start doing that more.
I think it has a bigger impact on people to be able to like look you in the eyes and see, and like you're able to read body language and stuff, and just it's very reassuring, I think. And I didn't say that earlier, but Sam, I don't know if he hadn't have taken over Evergrow, I don't think it would be nearly as big as it is. I think it still would have been big, but I just think that as far as like projecting confidence in the future of Evergrow, like I would say that all of that came down to Sam.
I tell him all the time.
Yeah.
Don't they? I tell him, especially during his next run up, I want his face out there as much as possible, and not just, I don't want shilling Evergrow, of telling people about Evergrow, and on camera, and I tell him that all the time. He's very well spoken. He knows what he's talking about and his background, and and he doesn't just look like a guy you can trust. He is a guy you can trust. Me, and Sam just looks like that business guy or whatever. Me, even though I'm 40 years old and I've been in business 20 years, Sam is at a higher level business than I am. I got a bald head and beard and stuff like that. Sam just looks so, professional, and, he's got that English accent. You just trust him more, and as you should. I mean, I'm as ethical as Sam, but he's the CEO of the project, and people want to hear from the chairman and CEO of the project, and I know that's why.
Yeah, like with somebody being in charge, you want to feel that you can be confident in them. And like Sam,
Yeah,
out of all the people in the space that I've seen in other projects as well, Sam's at the top. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think so too. You know, um, but there's other CEOs that are great out
No,
there.
like,
That
and when I say at the top, I don't mean the
no, I know.
tippity top, but he's definitely up there at the top out of all the projects I've seen. There's only a couple projects I can think of where I'm like, this CEO or this person in charge really exudes the same amount. And it might be in a different way than Sam does, like, and I don't want to name drop, but yeah, but with other projects that even Evergrow might be, friends with, there's great CEOs and stuff, but Sam you're just very confident in his, and what he's saying, that he's being honest and that he means what he's saying and that he has the best intentions and that he kind of knows what he's talking about. And I think that Evergrow, we just had to learn some hard lessons probably. And by we, I mean like you guys with the devs and stuff behind the scenes. But I think that as far as a project doing a J curve, I think this one has the best shot. It's got everything it needs. It's got the funding, the right team, trustworthy people, safe contract, and, you guys listen to the community. So if Evergrow can't do it, man, then it would be hard to imagine that other projects could pull off a J curve.
Yeah, and everything changed when Sam officially took over in September, October, when he got full control over everything. That's when it really took a shift. But you know, and it's only been 6 months since we started working with the utility since then. But that's not an excuse. We got to take it as a whole. And take it on the chin. And so we do, and that's what it is. All we can do is, say sorry about it, and make it up to everyone. And I think we are, and I think we will, and I want everyone to see that. And they will, and I can't wait to see people's reaction to it. And it'll make me feel better inside that we delivered for them. But don't, just because we delivered these these two or three things, we're not, complacent. We're not stopping there. We're going to keep going. But we don't want to be like everyone else either. You know what I mean? And, you just don't build a blockchain, right after you get done stuff. You know what I mean? You kind of need like Sam said, you need 1 million active users for a blockchain. Otherwise, it just kind of stays stagnant. People don't build
Well,
on it
and
and
you
stuff.
need someone to take this stuff that seriously to be like, that's actually not a good idea, or this isn't good to do right now. Because other teams, I think you'll see, they'll do it for the sake of doing it. They'll do it NFT
Sounds good.
marketplace. Yeah.
It sounds good. It sounds real good. Like other projects that do have that that kind of following. It's not a bad idea. But it still stays stagnant for a while. Until the next bull market, which could be a year away or even more. Who knows? I don't know. You know, I guess we'll see. I just told Sam, I think different is, like people always tell me that I'm the next CEO in line. No, I'm not. Like I always told Sam, I want Evergrow to do so good. I want Sam to be on stage one day. I want to be off to the side just clapping, for him.
I'll be in the
'Cause
crowd. I'll be clapping for you.
yeah, I just want to be on the side clapping and knowing I was a part of it. That's all I want to do. I want my boys beside me. I want Cody and Raga beside me, and Sam up there on the stage. I just want to clap. That's my vision. It really is. That is my vision. Um, and I really think we can do it. With a little time and patience. And in the future, you need luck, timing, strategies to work out perfect. You know what I mean? All this stuff. And I think with all these failures that came out, you know, sure some people wouldn't have sold, but the market still crashed. We still would have been under $50 million market cap, even if the stuff was released. So it might not be a bad thing. It could be. I don't know. I wish it wasn't because I want to give the people hope. So hopefully in a few weeks, couple weeks, We can give them some hope, and they can be like, "Wow, it's worth the wait."
Awesome, man. Yeah, well, I enjoyed this, and I think that the community enjoyed this. So maybe we, at the right time, do it again. Maybe after you guys do your announcements and do the actual official announcements, maybe not too long after that, we can, run these from time to time. And
Yeah.
I think it's just a great way to catch up and for people to ask questions and stuff. So yeah, thanks so much for doing this, man.
Yeah, as long as I've, like I said, everyone knows I ramble and stuff like that, and I can only talk about the same stuff so many times. And I understand people are tired of hearing soon, it's coming, it's this, that, the other thing. So me and you actually talked about that before I come on here. I'm like, is it a good idea to go on there and still talk about, this? And we decided it was, a good idea because you want the interview. So I'm open to do it. I don't care. I answer any question you want, honestly and openly, if I can, because I'm under NDA and other stuff that I can't for the future. But yeah, let's I would definitely like to link back up after, a couple utilities are come out. And maybe Cody wants to come on, Cody and Rocket want to come on when Luna Sky, because Luna Sky will probably come on first. And maybe Cody, and you can schedule a time and Cody and Rocket can come on.
Yeah.
Cody loves being on camera. Just at a different time probably. And he can talk about Luna Sky when it's released. That would be good because he knows all about it.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
A good one right there, yeah. And then after the while it gets released, I can come on or something like that, and we can do it that way if people like this. Drop in the comments, guys. Tell us what you thought about, and this is I just thought. Tell us what you thought about this whole interaction. If you like this format, was it just repetitive? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you like? Obviously we're still going to do Twitter AMAs, official Twitter AMAs. This was more CC's interview thing. But tell me if you liked us coming on here and discussing this kind of stuff. Leave the comments below. Make sure you like the video, comment, and share it everywhere, guys. If you're Evergrow holder and you believe in the project, share it and get it out there. That's the best you can do if you want to support us. So thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. I'll catch you later, man.
All right, man. Later.
Later.